Ok. A ver.
Props to Elf Mage for stealing away the Ruel, because anybody who's ever played against Lady of the Scales
Bien.
and Ruel knows that combo is terror to play against. So Elf Mage does steal the Ruel away, so now he just has to properly defend against this free run position that Rojin Goto's put himself in.
Yeah, you're right. Freeran just lost a game in our previous match. One of the highest win rate for now, along with Koli. Freeran, 65.4% win rate. That's almost 2/3.
Yeah, that is amazing here in such a competitive format. Look at these two picked up. Wow, yeah, Rod's locked in. First one of today, we saw him banned out in round 2 of the previous sets. Briarwitch as well, very prominent ban target too.
To snipe against Ruel.
Stay alert, no matter the foe.
Briarwitch gets dropped in 2 revives on the side of Omega, so very high value there on top of the defense.
Oh,
Break out Fumir! That's what I'm wondering!
Nice! Rojin cooking.
Oh, we haven't seen Fumir
man.
for such a long time. Probably Lunatic.
They've been picking her on the ladder though.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ojito.
Lunatic tournament was
Very
probably the
scary
last one.
If
Ese
you're
Nick
not
Leaf de
familiar with
Frieren.
what she does now, after the buff, she's a focus character, and whenever she hits 5 focus, she will be able to strip buffs, defense break, and sleep for 2 turns. That is a huge window for the Freerun to be able to do damage. And guess what? Freerun does in fact completely fill her focus bar. Solitary gets picked out as a counter, gets banned.
Oh, which means we do
Fumir
have
makes it through.
Fumir in game. A lot of bulky characters on the left. So we have enough damage along with Freeran. Let's see.
So you've chosen to defy a
Rojin
god.
starting with Lady of the Scales.
Ok.
I shall bestow a benediction almighty.
Lady up the scales will put herself in that sacrifice spot, offering her health to the team for a
Le
little
dará
bit more
Frieren el
damage.
daño.
You don't really want the
Estoy-
nurse to go this fast in a spot like this. Goes for another turn skip. No counter attack this time. Rojin Goto looking at much better RNG than Turgan last game. And finally, this is the turn we're waiting for. Let's see what kind of debuffs
Barril la
this
Ruel.
Fumir puts down.
El Ras no le vas a meter
One of the
nada.
coolest
Snap the
animation.
fingers.
Love
Oh
it.
yeah.
Oh,
Y
Well
yo creo... Vamos a ver.
That
Igual
is big,
está
of course.
Lady que va a
Gives
mitigar
Straws
todo el
immune
daño.
debuffs on his first life, but here we go. Freeran ripping the big skill 3. Gonna get some script, potentially some attack up.
A ver... Ojito que se
that's a lot of
tanqueó.
damage, but the defense breaks.
Si lo tanqueó...
Counter 2 counters here. Hitting into the Freerun wall, be giving a little CR.
Joder,
Kills 2 units. Ruel does come back. And wow, Lady of the Scales steals
No,
the
le
turn
metió
with extra
todo.
combat readiness. Fear goes on to the Ruel. No
se le
revive.
Hold up. Omega now on the back foot. Gonna rip that skill 3 on Monochrome Sword Ice here. His second fracture stack.
¿Qué es de eficacia? No tienen resistencia a efectos, boludo, los de
Lady of the
Miguel.
Scales should be holding on. Freerun does not go down. I think
Ah,
Omega's
boludo,
a
qué
fast one.
chotada.
Now Soulburn does go down. Takes out the
Supongo que es
Monarch of the
eficacia esa
Sword.
Lady.
AoE damage. Oh, takes out the Ross.
Uff.
Ross is here. Back from the dead. There's Ruel on the bottom too, but it's already way too much. Damage has been done, and that is Rojin
Okay.
in game 1. Very fast, convincing way. Fumir lands
Pobrecito
all that and
del
carried up
y
with
Omega ahí.
Freeran. Oh wow.
That's why her win rate is so high, G-Clef. Rojin showing that this time it's going to be a lot different.
Ok,
His draft
literalmente
behind
acá
the
la que
Lady of the
carré fue
Scales,
Lady,
the Fumir
¿verdad?
backing.
Con el
You
tema
saw the
de
damage done to
meter
Ruel life,
el
already taking away
miedo
Monarch
a
of the
todos.
Sword. Last time around she had a lot
Más
more
contra los monos que se
opportunities to
supone
pull
que
those
tienen algo de
fracture stacks. This
resistencia
time
a
around Genesis
efectos.
Raws was dropping, the Ruel was dropping, and the Monarch could not finish the deal. There were still so many souls
O sea,
on
me
the side
sorprendió que
of Rojin to have that
que
defensive
la
magic
Iseria
Freeran was
con
sitting
la defensa
so
rota se
comfortable there.
tanqueara
That
la
match was
ulti, boludo. Debe
100%
tener una
yours.
banda de defensa y vida.
And that's the difference of getting first pick in a matchup like this, because having first pick means as long as you win the rock, paper, scissor of the pre-bans, you get to pick up
Okay.
the OP character. You can pick up the Lady of the Scales, the Perfumer Biblos, maybe even the Notos, and Rojin Goto was
No,
certainly
que
the
van a piquear.
beneficiary of that match.
En este mundial están pidiendo una
No,
banda a la
Omega will
Frieren,
have
boludo.
first.
Y tal
After losing
Frieren
his
le
first pick.
encantan el personaje,
Tori,
boludo.
Sigrid, Politis, Newman Luna band.
A ver, Rinak. Ok.
Knock does get snatched up. It
Hmm.
almost makes me a little bit sad we won't be able to
Bueno,
get to see
el Roshin ya cambió
Omega
los planes,
on
va a
that
ir
Sea Phantom
marrano.
Politics. That's one of his
yes.
best characters. So many drafts designed around that character, and
Exactly.
almost banned
Ojo.
away.
Ah, no,
Every
Bibli se
time
está
Roshin
bañado.
Goto this time picks up the Airwall, make Chloe for
Ok.
himself.
Make
So we'll be able to
Chloe.
mitigate a
No está
lot of
mal.
damage, and Arrow will be stealing turn after turn against the single target high-speed Renock.
Probablemente
A
Tenebria
lot of
ahí.
people actually thinking about
Hécate
building
también
Fumier
podría
right
ser.
now after seeing that game. Well, Valky, would you recommend building Fumier
Una
right now?
buena Hécate. Aunque va a tener que
I
tener
think if
cuidado
you're
con
an
la
endgame
Irina.
player and you're trying to replicate this free run hyper carry
Anda el
strategy,
micro, ¿verdad?
she's
Sí,
certainly a
anda, anda.
very strong
Por las dudas.
4-5 pick. But if you're like a new player, or if I just downloaded the game, no. You got to get your PvE in order, get your Wyvern in order, get your Rift in order, so you can make sure you have gear coming in. Get your PvE down first. And once you have all the PvE modes down on auto,
Está
on the
pensando el
then
Yomega
you
bien.
can start thinking about what kind of
Yo
PvP
creo ahí, si
characters
quiere
you
evitar
wanna
la
play
real,
on
tiene que
the
picar una Hécate.
That's a
Ilina Fécate, una cosa así, ¿no?
Professional answer. Yes, Carsix.
100%. I just want
Un
to add
hiper
that
carry
just look
de
at the
Hécate, tal
first two
vez.
picks. You see Fumier picked a lot later in the draft. That means she's going to be more of like a tech, sometimes a counter pick.
Ilina
Take some of these
y
early lineups, and
Hécate.
those are going to be the ones you're picking
¿No?
99% of the time.
Tenebria. Probablemente la
And
pique
to add on
después.
that, caster professional comment will be, she is very pretty, so pick her up.
Love it.
If you like the character, that's who you
Let's
should go for
begin.
all the time.
Amen.
Pesivita.
Leave it
Oh,
to me.
oh, green.
And they
Holy.
Ooh, I like this. Both character has self-cleanse against Omega's comp. Omega did go for
Melee?
that turn kick, which is
Oh
the
my
reason he...
God.
Whoa!
Dragon
Beautiful.
punch.
Ojito, la Milin.
Seen this take back is like when we saw the golden
La
punch
Milin,
the
ahí,
other day.
para el que no sepa, la Milin lo que hace es que cuando inicia su turno quita todos los sigilos del equipo.
And maybe, yeah,
Así
like you said,
que,
with that
del equipo
dragon
rival,
punch,
obviamente,
dragon
¿no?
buster to the face.
Así que bueno, justamente por eso. Lo malo es que también le va a quitar a la del sigilo y le va a activar la pasiva, pero no. Igual no creo que joda mucho. El Milim y la Flan son dos de evasión, así que bueno.
Could be an architect like he's having some kind of light unit there. I think you want to get your speed priorities.
Y ahí está jodido el chabón, ¿eh?
Too much initiative and agency to Omega.
Chiron, ojito.
Chiron gets locked in though. Going to look
El
to
Chiron de
splash
luz
into his
no es
team
mal
with a
pick.
lot of flat damage.
Suponiendo que tenga el set persecución, y si llega al máximo de barra va a quitar 18.000. A Flan, a Milin y a la Tenebria seguro se lo lleva casi seguro. Ilina muy poco probable. Y Rina ya depende de cuánta vida tenga. Si es una Rina con mucha vida, pues tal vez no.
So has an anchor end game. Omega though. Millim has to go. She snipes on
Ok, baño Milin, está bien. Y baño Arowell le quito la mitigación. Arowell tanquea una banda actualmente, así que está fuerte. Y más con el artefacto de Stele, va a tener más presencia este personaje. Ok, Rinak, no va a hacer tanto daño, daño fijo, así que bueno, vamos a ver qué sale. A lo mejor acá no tiro ult en la segunda habilidad para no darle más... O bueno, sí, para no darle más barra al Chiron, pero le va a llevar. Ok. Ok, no tiro ulti, en su lugar tiro básico, está bien, para maximizar daños. Y acá básico, no va a salir counter de Chiron, pero se le va a ir la pasiva a la otra. Oh, ojito. ¿Acá quién va a ir? Ok, va a ir a por esta. Ojito. Ok. A ver cuánto daño hace esa edad.
Guys, there's Kayron and Ida.
El tema acá es... Acá se tiene que llegar a bajar al... Ok, no tiene tanto daño. Ok, ahí ya es cuestión de hacer puro dual. A ver, ¿tiene daño ese Chiron? No, es full vida, ok. Acá depende de que aguante el Chiron, básicamente. Si el Chiron aguanta... A ver si el Chiron aguanta. Acá que tira ulti o básico para dual. Acá supongo que ulti, ¿no?
Gonna have to be one more shot left from the flan.
O
Whatever
básica.
you can do.
The promises
Ok.
My goodness.
Because once Kayron takes his turn, it's all over.
Ujú.
Dropping the class, picks up the buffs. That's a
You're
little
getting cleansed at
dangerous.
least.
Rogen.
Acá si no mata, cago. Ok, ahí tira ulti, ya no hay Medical, así que se va a comer todo el daño de la reina.
I think it should be enough.
Y supongo que se la lleva. Ojo que misión ahí.
Get a little
Pero igual debería llevársela.
barriers and enough to save him.
Hay un dual y ya se muera.
Tenebria though.
Hold on. We get the duel
F.
from them. It's surely enough now.
Llega a misiar ahí y tal vez ganaba, ojo. Bueno, ya está, GG. Ganó el Omega y ya está. GG.
Back.
Very close.
Facilito.
Kayron.
Ojito que va empatada la cosa. El Omega y la remontó.
Can't blame him for that though, right? The Kayron has to build in such a way that he's so stat hungry that the fast openers on the side of Omega were able to lap. But you like that interaction was so interesting between the Festivita in that stealth. She set up the bomb, set up the debuff, and then the Kayron was doing everything he could, counters. If he just got that one turn on skill 3, would have been lights out for Omega. But he knew his team was much faster. He was able to seal the deal just barely in time before it was over.
Yeah, lots of
I
sad
also have to
things.
wonder, he did ban the Millum there to protect his stealth characters, but the stealth characters, especially the Landy, didn't even get to do much that game. Would it have been better if he just banned the Flan? But going into the third game, wow, Freerun and Lady of the Scales taken out. Very good heads-up play by Elvmage, and now, does Rogen defend against
Ok,
this? We will see
Arunquilla.
in this series decider. Boss Rinka, though, being
Ok.
I mean, with so many pre-bans, no
Ya
better
se
than
fueron la mayoría de personajes cancerígenos. Acá que puede piquear, la Yulja está libre por supuesto. ¿Y quién más?
That's a great pickup as well. There's still some strong contenders.
Yeah.
I think the first pick advantage not as heavy here in round 3 as compared to like round 1. Because look at this, you get a Genesis Raw Zula combo in exchange. I like that trade-off.
I will guide you through the
And the
light.
position
I
is
see it.
really good for Omega as well, because there's no Empyrean Illinois, but the end does get locked in for Rogen Goto. Could be a little bit awkward because she isn't in that ban protection slot. She can always just be banned out. Spirit Eye Celine, though, another decent answer to this combo that you see. And on top of that, she is a hyper carry. We're seeing Rogen liking to play a lot of this third pick hyper carry playstyle.
Extra turns. Some no damaging skills.
Ok, hipercarry de Celine. Se viene.
She could be a great tech counter pick. Maybe not here in this early. Hovering the Hellion Lua. Round 3, we've seen the power of this unit when she's uncontested.
Sealed Ice
Oh
Fluid!
my goodness.
Second time.
That's the second one. And she won the first time around.
She did.
Omega's taking a page out of Minoru's
Aram,
playbook, and of
ok,
course, Rogen
buen
will be
counter de
putting
la
that Aram.
Lua.
Although, unfortunately, should be a forced ban if you're picking her in this spot. So Rogen needs one more character that can potentially defend against this draft. This is going to be tough. You have two very strong combos in the Lua Surin as well as the Nurse Ross. Oh, Dark Warrior being hovered, maybe going for some kind of ML Aria, if I had to guess. Ooh, Designer Lilibet.
Concerned about the debuffs?
I mean, that's the power of the Hellion Lua. She can strip your immunities, provoke your team, as well as Sovereign to ignore
Ojito el Ran.
completely. So lots to be
Ojito.
doing. Ran is
La
also a decent
Colli.
answer, but wow. Tactical Archetype Colli gets locked
Ok,
in, but has
imprint
to
de
top
speed para la Dien,
Gasoline.
supongo
Looks like
yo.
Rogen Goto is going for
Básicamente le estoy diciendo,
Yeah, he wants to come over the top.
o me dejas al Aram para que no uses tu opener, o bañame el opener para que no le gane. Una cosa así entiendo yo.
When she gets that first turn advantage, it is almost oppressive.
That speed imprint
Cristi.
to go up a step to contest against that Lua on the left. Christy being hovered.
I cannot let you pass.
Cristi, ok.
Big debuffs coming through.
Ok, chao Arunca y
On that
chao
Christie, can't let
Cristi.
that, as our game plan is a very all-in one. But here we go. We have some signs of life on the side of Rogen. We have that DN, that anti-pen resistance.
Okay.
We have the form of a hyper carry and nice openers here.
Who's gonna open up? There's extra Coley and ICN.
Ojito. Ahí ganó la Dien. Era de esperarse, la verdad.
Please, save
Tien does get the first turn.
Adelanta a todos. Y ahí se va a comer todos los golpes. A ver, llega a matar de una.
Ghost immediately for the Soul on the Genesis Ross. Oh, look at that damage! What is that?
One tap?
Che, igual acá hay un
On a Roz.
tema.
Well calculated. It was a close kill too, but it pays off. First life gone there. Now he's gonna be susceptible to that.
Cagaste.
Yulha, though.
Para mí era full a la otra. ¿A ¿Cómo se llama? A la Yulha. Era la Yulha, boludo.
We have that cut artifacts, and this is exactly
No habrá
why
visto
now
que
we
tenía el
can use
artefacto.
button.
Y cagaste, creo.
G-Ross.
Ya está, boludo.
Takes over.
Ah, la acabó el Roshin, boludo. Era suya y la acabó.
I think Roach's game plan is falling apart.
Era suya y la acabó.
58,000
Literal, si en vez de focusear Genesis, focusear la otra, ganaba. La acabó el pobre. Chau.
Game locked and sealed. Omega
Y
for the first
gana el
time
Yomigai esta partida.
the knockout stage. After all these years, he's finally
Dang, G.
there. He's
You gonna
finally
do him like
there.
that? Not wrong though. I bet he's breathing a huge sigh of relief. This bracket was made for him, but not to take anything away. He played so well. 2-1 here against Rojin. Rojin, I really liked what he did, especially early on, but it just seemed like as the matches progressed, Omega took it here in a convincing fashion.
Yeah, good catch, Rocky. I think that was Warhorn for the extra speed. Yeah, good cut.
And I mean, for Omega's draft, you really see the power of these powerhouse duos, the dynamic duos, if you will, with the Nurse Ross. Them by themselves can single-handedly take over a match, and when you have Hellion Lua and Sealed Eye Surin, they can certainly do the same, but being outsped this game, you just need your team to carry you and hold it down.
The Genesis Ross win rate keeps on going up and up. I think he's around 61% now with the wins today. So that's
Yeah, just
something
such a good unit.
and a
it's
free
crazy
to
that
play.
Acá la Lady la carrió,
Oh
boludo.
yeah, yeah.
You just have to
It's almost
complete some
he was
missions.
delivered.
Oh, a lot of
He
missions.
was delivered to save the player base.
Yeah, such a strong character. Yeah, good question, Davaki.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of Milim.
give you a hand.
Like Milim is indeed
Facilito.
very strong. Single target. You can also soul burn, go for the landing. But it feels
No se
like
metió el
when
high,
the
boludo, me
rock is
recabo.
soft and just that.
Se habrá quedado bien
By
dormido.
attacking.
I mean, the whole point of playing for a Twisted Idol and K-Ron endgame is you're just looking to survive as long as you can, and then when he finally inevitably gets a turn, count the hit in.
Acá la recagó, boludo. No, ¿por qué focuseó ese? Más revive, boludo. Bien al pedo. Después tenías a la Dien para limpiar los debuffos. Tenías el mortal.
She has so much damage. The potential was
La
there,
cagó el
but
pie.
the Nurse Ross combo, especially the Warhorn Nurse, ooh, stealing the turn there was
Yeah,
a little
just a little
much.
bit of an unfortunate cut there. We weren't able to proc that Coley. Barely cut out, and as we saw, that Superhuman was enough to seal the deal.
Yeah, really might have got a little too excited after that one tap kill onto G-Ross. That was a lot of damage indeed. So here's the updates. Omega will be advancing into the knockouts top 16 next week. We don't have matches next week, again, to remind you guys. But we're still not done with Group G. There's no break today in Group G. We go through all 3 matches. Usually we have 2 matches and then a break and then the 3 matches. But since we're missing 2 matches because of Map D missing, we will go through the 3rd one, match 3, complete our group first, Group G, and see who else is going up. So between the lost players of first 2 matches, Turgwen versus Rojin. Now both players against Omega, they had somewhat of a specific plan. Now they're going up against each other. This had to be maybe some homework, not fully prepared, maybe prepared. We'll see what happens. Are they getting ready? It seems so. Let's talk about these players a little bit. From the
Ok,
draft,
Tergen.
both players, of course, Freeman was top priority in first game. You think that'll happen
Le
again,
gusta
Bob?
la waifu esa.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fighting over who gets to play her. And I'm almost expecting both players in the lobby right now just shooting up a prayer to the big man up above, hoping for first pick, because that's really the secret ingredient to getting that hyper carry draft off.
And his opponent, who just went
Ok, el rushing.
against Omega. Close match.
Básicamente pelean los perdides.
Certainly was a tough one. Aram, Cody, Celine, Diane. You can see the damage and see, okay, this guy's got gear. This guy's got some stats on. So we'll see if they go speed or tone it down, go for the regular game. 2-3, not a bad score for either. But I would say Rojin's got a huge profile win. That's a big plus.
Hey, you can't dunk on Turkey, man. That guy is a big fan of the Rima.
Ok.
You gotta respect the waifu game.
A ver, ya vuelvo un segundito.
One of Rima's few fans, huh?
Before, I'm just gonna drop this. Before Rima was in the band, in the Valentine's, I actually did not know the gender for the longest time.
Yeah.
I had a wrong idea on it. But here we go. Notos, Lady of the Scales, Diane, Biblis, the common bands are there. Oh, actually not Biblis. Excuse me, that's Yulha in the band.
Daring today, aren't we?
Yeah, we've seen Biblis banned out a lot in today's sets. First time she's gonna make it there, or maybe the second time compared to the first one with Omega. That Swift Nightmare Secret also usually coming out in round 2. It's picked up early here on the side of Turgan. Very strong debuffer. We saw how powerful the SVP
Ok, Arunca y Singret estaban en Shulja, así que es normal.
Rojin hovering over that Ruel. I mean, you already have two of the strongest support Soul Weaver. Let's just put a hyper carry on 3.
I got first pick. Haha! Celine. I've seen yours.
Hyper carry versus hyper carry. We do have the Biblis on the side of Freerin, so we don't have to worry about the reflect damage, which is something you have to consider when fighting against her.
I think Turgan needs to be very careful with this pick here because
Lírica. Ok. Esta ya la vimos, el truquito. Selina en el medio y Lírica ahí.
I think Rojin just says, you know what, I like these odds, and just drops 2 openers. Oh my goodness. These guys are bloodthirsty.
Ruel and Briarwitch, okay.
Yeah, a little anti-synergy
Okay,
there, but
Eda.
he's confident in that opening status. 5th pick, ban, handshake comes out for both sides.
Very fast. Almost giving me no time to write these heroes down, and we're going in! Third match of Group G. 1% cut for Briarwitch for Rojin.
That was a close one.
Ooh.
Pays off for Rojin, though, on the 4 and 5 picks. He wanted to have that first turn advantage.
The Dark Witch.
Man, Turgan can't get a break today. I think this is the second time he's lost a race, especially with this Litica. We'll be pushing up the team. Freerun does not get the cut, though. Ooh, this is still such an awkward turn.
Litica?
We're looking to drop the S2. Debuffs do not stick on the Freerun. She will be stealing the turn, and look at the amount of defense breaks on Turgan's side. This is looking dangerous. Freerun is shooting it
A ver
down.
cuando salga la Fiere.
The power of magic.
Se salió. Acá si resistiera los debufos a la Selim, ojito. Igual está la Briseria, así que no van a revivir, pero bueno. No, chao.
Only boss. Arunca is standing, but got no employees on the back. 1-0.
What a fast match.
Not much to comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of debuff comes from Briarwitch. Free rent to clean up. Good turn snatch, I guess.
You just got cleaved. Sometimes you gotta go next.
Oh. Yeah, no turn for the Spirit Isoline. Secret just stood there. Litica is kind of squishy after the opening turn. So we go with the second game. Iseria, G-Ross, Tori, and Luna is the ban. Lots of Tori snipes happening from the players today.
I'm not cheap.
I think Chloe does get picked up first. I think Rojin, yeah, definitely wants to play a little bit of speed here, especially when you do ban out that Tori. It usually telegraphs you're looking to play a debuff or some kind of speed and debuff mix in your team structure.
Ok.
And first of all, though, he's going to start the draft splitting up that mate Arrowwell combo.
I'll wrap things up.
Belona.
Bellona.
Una historia, así que se le fue uno de los principales Hunter.
Wants to make sure the rest of his draft is not, you know, predicated on having those late carry DPSs. Now he's more flexible on what he can put in that spot 3. Let's see how Turgan replies in answer to that pick.
We are playing with no warfare rules, and no warfare rules, I would say in general, is unfavorable for the Bellona. Bellona's very much buffed by, I think, 3, I think now 2 out of the 4 warfare rules that we have. So Turgan could go for like a Sea Phantom Politis strategy, but seeing as that he just been outsped twice, even today, he might be feeling a little uncomfortable with the speed, but oh, no Tori. You're gonna feel uncomfortable playing against this Bellona if you don't just have confidence in your speed gear.
What's a good answer against this lone crescent Bellona?
Tori.
Ojito.
Oh my God, it was hovered earlier. We got a
¿Y esa Shuna?
Since I had to step in.
followed by Harsetti.
Why?
Mhm.
Why this many Soul Weavers though?
She's a Soul Weaver, but she
You know,
has some
we've
debuffs as
seen
well.
a lot of structures.
A mí
where
se
it's
me
Soul Weaver,
hizo
Soul
que
Weaver,
quiso
hyper
piquear al
carry. Maybe
Aram
he just has the world's best Harsetti as the hyper carry. You
y
never
no,
know.
se le
That could
resbaló
be
el
the
dedo
case,
al
but
mouse y
we'll
cagó.
have to see once we lock in and load into the game. Schneel being hovered, no. Dragon King Sharoon, so we're looking to counterplay the sleeps coming in from the Shuna and potentially any Abyssal Crown procs if this Harsetti is in fact on that
Oh
artifact.
my God.
And the counter
Speaking
himself.
of anti-sleep,
The
we saw a big
anti-stun.
win coming in from Dark Corvus. Yes, a hyper carry. If he's let through, you're gonna need some damage. Also, Turgan, he has a lot of like splash damage that could also hyper accelerate him after his initial
I'll
S3.
take your life.
The Ravi gets locked in by Turgan though. Looking to just face tank the Dark Corvus if he can, and if the Dark Corvus does in fact trade out one of her teammates, maybe you just swing your axe and
Esta es la tercera.
trade 1 for 1.
I'm
Tiene una
lost.
banda.
I'm so
he's-
lost.
She's very tanky. G-Clef has, you know, she may not die to the Dark Corvus, has injury, can also revive, as Valky was saying, so I like this pickup on Turgan. However, it's almost like it's a little out of date. We have some early Shuna, Apoc on 4. I like what he's cooking, but I think Rojan's draft is just much more cohesive. We'll see how it pans out.
Setsuka.
I would say the lone Crescent Bellona
Ojito Corvus, estoy viendo.
Setsuka comes in, just looking to outplay with the evasion a little bit. You don't feel that good picking her into Dark Corvus or Lone Crescent Bellona, and of course, last pick Lionheart Surmia. It's not looking quite good for Turgan. I'll tell you that much.
We
Of course,
had to
both
get that
Dark
Corvus
Warriors
out.
being traded out.
Yeah, and with the Ravi gone, that was the one unit on Turgan's side that I was very confident in, but here we go.
You seem quite useful.
Harsetti shuffle start.
It's best I end it here. I've got important matters to attend
And
to.
let's also see some numbers. Oop. Some reds and Surmia only. Shuna?
We're looking to
go,
just run
but
that
that
S3
Dragon
and of course the sleep
No sé
lets
por qué
away.
tiró la ulti, pero bueno.
Was expected with the Dragon Sharoon.
No falló ni un golpe, ok.
In session.
7-8.
Those who stray from the path of righteousness.
One for the extra.
Y le viene mal porque no activa la alermia.
Fishing for a stun on the mate, does it land?
Resistance.
Finally heating up.
Made Chloe after all.
That's what she's known for.
I can see your
hit.
desire.
Acá tira la ulti.
To awaken your desires.
Setsuka needs to go now, and we'll be
Ya supongo que va a tirar ulti.
And I'm almost not convinced that's the turn order you would want if you're the Setsuka player. Normally speaking, you want to trigger the Lionheart passive far from over, get her immunity and defense buff up, and then use the Setsuka ultimate to strip. And now with this miss, I mean, a whole chain of events will happen. We're gonna have to see where this one goes, fellas. This is gonna get messy.
Play the animation, guys. Here we go.
Delay the inevitable. Let's make this
Lots of extra damage, and Surmia run will be starting. Talk right.
Get the first hit through. Turgan's team holds on, but we're
Ojito.
looking at low health bars across the board for his team. One more hit, Solburn comes in. It even drops the revive.
Their battles wisely.
Más tiene símbolo así que no es raro.
Counterattack coming through from the side of
Another
Turgan. He needs to
counterattack.
come back big right now.
La Calermia se está haciendo fiesta, boludo.
So low on health.
Let's see. Don't go down too fast.
I think Rojan is getting almost every single RNG proc he could be asking for right now. And another bat back from the Bologna. Misses on a few, but oh man, these health
Y
bars
acá
do
supongo
not
que
look
es
good.
C2, ¿no?
Still be on board, but no,
Ok.
instead we're gonna Soulburn the S1 for a little bit of healing.
Another try
Yeah,
to
that did some
overcome.
heal.
Linda curación, pero creo que no es suficiente.
Yeah, the awkward thing with Shuna, the equalizer was going to be a tough spot, so the Solburn play, he reckoned he would get more healing out of it. DK Sharoon procs the counter.
Lethal Whispers.
Another rebuttal. Setsuka looking a lot healthier though.
Audacity of these scoundrels.
More counters you have. Another miss.
Finally
Does
here.
not get the counter attack this time.
Forget the rest. I'm gonna fill this goblet with your blood.
Ironheart, Surmia
And that's a hit on all of them.
Oh my god!
Man,
Welcome.
that symbol of unity paying off dividends.
Needed in the nick of time.
This Surmia can certainly land a hit.
Better to have some extra.
That's Ryujin
Otherwise,
going to the knockout stage of top 16 for E7 Masters. Will be the second player to move up from Group G, along with Omega. Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, as we were discussing, the draft did look a little better for the side of Rojan, and I think the RNG was on his side. That symbol of unity, Lionheart, was just landing hit after hit, and it was just on the back foot for the side of Turgan from the beginning.
And you gotta feel a little bit bad for Turgan, but not that much, because anytime you draft yourself into a Harsetti composition, you're almost signing away your life to RNG.
Roshin se llevó el 2-0.
Every single character
Okay.
that's good in this matchup is just so heavily random. From the speed RNG off into turn 1 into all of the counter attacks, extra attacks, follow-up attacks. When you pull all the things together, it's almost like you're just going to the slot machines.
Yeah, with Shuna. But the counter pick was indeed really good too. This was a free run showcase with a bit of a splash from the perfumes.
As we said, not much to discuss. It was just a quick lead for the side of Rojan.
from life into death, and death into life anew.
And also
I protect. Honestly,
clutch pick again. Dragon Sharoon, another win.
more thrilling.
When you're up against so many counter attacks, here is Lionheart Stormia, just like last week.
Fill this goblet with your blood.
Just hit.
Man, normally Lionheart Surmia versus Setsuka is, I would honestly even say it's like a 40-60. 60 in favor of the Lion, but there it didn't even look close.
Yeah, single target hit, and also the S3 hit was indeed very big. So here's the update. Omega, Rojan Goto up in top 16 now. Just 2 seats left. We have 14 players. Looking at the bottom, Wanti, Fan, Keith, Vicchun. The last four players for the group stage. Get hyped. Another very strong groups coming up very soon. 2 global, 2 Asia. See which 2 players will make it. Very quick and fast matches today for Group G. And so far, it seems like the players have implemented some of the cool picks from last week. Not Shuna though. Lionheart Sormia, some more Setsuka, and also a lot more Helio Lua too. So that was a bit of a surprise that a lot more groups, a lot of more players are picking that up. And so far, some updates has been done. So Omega, Rojan Go 2 moving up for the next knockout stage. And then we'll find The last bout from Group H coming up soon, which means we do have a little bit of a break, guys. So stay hydrated, and we'll be back in 10.
Dejo, yo ya tuve, lo pido un saludo. Saludame esta.
What is up, people? It is Vic Chun, and I'm here to show you how you can cleave in Epic 7, even if you started in 2026 with the New Era update. Cleave in RTA isn't just about limited or collaboration heroes that are not available anymore, like Freerun. It's more so about understanding your strengths and weaknesses while playing to your strengths every single
Está Vic
time.
Chun hablando
And in this guide,
en
I've created a
directo
simple
oficial.
cleave framework, or some might call a flowchart, that you can follow or apply to your own game so that you can reach your desired rank. Note, results may vary depending on your gear, but just know heroes are no longer a limitation with all of the amazing rewards that the New Era update provides. Now, assuming you're taking advantage of the discounted Mystic summons that all players benefit from, some of the MO5 heroes you can rely on in RTA are Lady of the Scales, Boss Arunca, and Nodos. Genesis Ross being free after 2 weeks should be no surprise, which is why he's in this spot as well. But to get started, make sure you pre-ban Harsetti and Valiant in every single game. This is the most important step, otherwise everything else will fall apart due to their unique passives taking over the game. And these are your core first picks. If one of them are pre-banned or stolen during the draft, pick the next one in line from left to right. They will be just fine. Since we are talking about Cleave, you want to pick up aggressive early picks that support your opener. Units like Witch of the Mere Tenebria, Tactical Archetype Koli, or Spirit Eye Celine really dictate the pace of the game and sets you up for an aggressive draft. Now, mind you, I did put Spirit Eye Celine in here because you can buy her for $10 in one of the early Moonlight packs, which I hope you didn't skip out on because that is infinite value. And at this stage, you're still flexible to decide which opener pairs the best with your first two picks. There are a lot of different cleave options in Epic 7, but I'll be focusing on these two in particular, Reenact and Amid, which you can receive from the Milestone of Radiance. Reenact performs exceptionally well against squishy targets, but his defense penetration allows him to shred through strong openers like Boss Arunca. Amid performs exceptionally well against low-tempo teams by her ability to provide combat readiness and skill nullifier to your team. This lets you run over opponents who pick to passively. And I'll show you how to utilize each opener in real games. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and follow the guidelines, right? We're going to go with the Harsetti and Valiant pre-bans. And luckily we are first pick this time around, so hopefully you were able to get your hands onto Lady of the Scales, but she is banned out. So I will go ahead and pick up Genesis Ross, assuming that you did not get Nodos or Boss Arunca. Alright, so the enemy is going to go ahead and pick up Nodos and Empyrean Ilnav, so I definitely want to apply pressure onto his team. And so I'm going to go ahead and immediately pick up Witch of the Mere Tenebria, but let's just say you don't have her. Let's try to go with Perfumer Biblis, who is currently on the banner. And we're going to go ahead and pick up a Reenact for our team as well. Now, Perfumer Biblis is one of those units that has effectiveness, and she has the injury on her kit with S3. And Reenact is going to be the opener that gives us tempo and allows us to pick a lot of damage and try to overwhelm the enemy. And looks like he goes for Christie and Monarch of the Sword Syria, which is a big counter unit. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up Mort, which is in the 4th and 5th picks, as you can see. And additionally, I want to pick another character that's going to allow us to land the debuffs that we're going to need, or, in fact, rather, go for really big damage. So I am gonna want to maybe think about going for Afternoon So Flan maybe, or even going for like a Robin and just go try to land my debuffs onto them. Could be kind of interesting. And so, because Robin is an RGB, pick up that Robin. And Robin did recently get buffed as well, with her Assassin's Pledge getting reworked a little bit from the recent balance patch. So this combination of units can be pretty strong. We're gonna go ahead and ban out the Bunny Dom as it gives immunity and stuff. And off we go. Let's see what happens. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to pilfer the Nodos. We did get double countered. Hopefully this doesn't result in us dying. Okay. That was kind of
Bueno, básicamente hay una explicación de cómo más o menos jugar si sos nueva a la RTA actual.
And now we're gonna go for the S3, throw out our damage.
Pues sí, por lo que estoy en el banner de Biblis es viable, pero si no tenés a Biblis cagaste, boludo.
I don't think we're gonna be able to tag this. So
Para mí tienen que quitar, no sé por qué existe, boludo, el sistema de agarrar en los selector, al menos en los triple banners para los personajes limitados. Que no pongan eso de que no puedes agarrar a los personajes que no tuvieron rerun antes, boludo. Y que no haya pasado 6 meses, porque si no, boludo, nunca más va a tener. Te hay que esperar como un año, boludo, literal, para tener el personaje. Una puta cagada eso, boludo. Para los que no hayan sacado a Hecate o ahora la Biblis, que no se hayan, por ejemplo, entrado al juego ahora, cagaron, boludo. Se joden.
That is totally fine. We're totally okay with that. Not really, but I have to try to... I need to land my debuffs onto Nodos. I do have
okay.
so it is not over yet. Oh, there we go.
Igual, esto más que nada para retear Guild War y Arena es relativamente fácil, con personajes free to play que puedes tener en cualquier momento del juego. Obviamente si tenés a los Mula y algunos limitados nuevos, se te facilita la tarea, pero bueno.
We will S3, we're going to kill off Christie, we'll kill off Nodos in the process. Hopefully we can do enough damage onto this Monarch Assyria while we're injured. Okay, eat another Elbrus.
A ver.
Now, Monarch Assyria no longer has the S3, so she cannot cleanse. This is going to proc my Biblis again.
Espero que los nuevos que estuvieron en el banner de Biblis la hayan sacado, boludo. Biblis es muy bueno. Tope, boludo, te sirve en todos lados.
Cleaving in 2026 as a new player is still possible, contrary to popular belief, as I've shown you just now. To me, there's no better way than winning games as a cleaver, and with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Siento que le bajaron la calidad de las animaciones, boludo. No sé, algunas partes las veo medio como PNGs en movimiento. Ok, quedan 3 peleas.
welcome back to E7 Masters, everyone. Time for Group H, last group for actually the 4 weeks of groups. Actually, finishing right here to find out the 2 more players. This group's got a problem because it's another stacked roster of players that I don't know which 2 players are going up, right? So that's a big question. Valky, I just have to put you up again on a spot. Select 2, and if you get it wrong, what will you do? Extra bit of challenge.
I'm down to eat a bulldog. No water, no milk.
Whoa, no cheese?
No cheese, no dairy products.
Which bulldog though? Regular or like the extra spicy? Or like
I can pick up an extra spicy. That's not a problem.
Okay, I'll make sure to go watch your stream. Oh, nothing. You're gonna get it wrong. Hey, which names? Which names though? Which names? I want to hear names.
I think
I want to hear
1P
names.
and Keith. If you really had to put me under the gun.
Okay. Alright, Victon and we got Fan as well. So Wampy fan, Keith, Victon. Big 4 names.
I'm gonna go 1P Vic Chun. I just watched that cleave guide by Vic, and my man, he's got the heart of a warrior.
He does teach a lot of cleavers, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not. For fast games, yes, but if I'm getting cleaved, maybe not. But
Same.
we live in the days where Ruel is available, Maid Chloe is another big thing. Lots of, somewhat of answers against lots of cleaves. Like you can have lots of anchors. Depending on where you are, there might be different anchors, depending on the speed. So we do have a bit of a surprise. Okay, I do have to apologize because there's something extra that we have today. Dang, there we go. Masters, now. Now. Because you have to wait for 15 more seconds, I made that apology. Now. That's a lot of.
I know.
Masters.
It's aggressive.
Mark now _0502. That's a lot to type. Make sure to copy paste so everyone can copy paste.
Yeah, chat's got it on lock.
It's a lot of typing. Essing. Thank you so much. And we also have some numbers, extra numbers. Ooh. Wampy's got half of the votes. Oh wow. Wampy, somewhat of names, of course, from lots of previous tournaments.
Those were the 2 I voted. Keith is definitely a monster though, so it's gonna be rough.
I'm not gonna tell you who I voted for. Keith, Eviction, also 23. That's almost a 1/4. Fan, not as much, but you never know. You never just know because from the previous results, we had some single-digit win prediction of players actually moving up to the knockout. So very interesting group overall, and we'll talk more about the players on the next screen. Group intro, Group H. Wampy, as you know, lots of qualifiers, but never in that knockout stage. Well, maybe this is the time. Keith, last year's top 16, got some speed, I can tell. And today is the day with Dragon Queen Sharoon. Might be the day. It might be the profile buff. Victon, are we going to see that Fern?
Crystal Victon.
No. I don't know. And Fan, not as much, but very well known.
Ese que tiene el logro de tener 5 piezas en 25 speed, boludo. Igual eso creo que tiene la mayoría de leyenda. De los asiáticos tryhard.
Tournament tree, just to double check. So, let's go with Wampy. Savaki! You said this guy has a pretty good chance of escaping out of the group. Why is that? Why? Can you tell us some reasons?
I think Wampy is one of the oldest players actually in this tournament in terms of how much he's been around the scene, been around the community. He's a part of the Chinese players in the global server that's, I think, been there since super early times. He's always been competitive. You see him in like top 10, top 20 in arena. And then when RTA first came out, he was also always in the top ranking. So you always see this guy in there. He's also known as a very big whale. However, unlike Keith, which is the two biggest whales I think in this group, he's not very fast. He's maybe fast on a single character, which is most likely why you see this ban protect Renok quite often. But he's very well known for how tanky his account is and how much damage gear he has.
As you can tell, very fast. Ooh, another Renok, pair of Renok in the most pick, most ban protection. We might be having some contest between Wampy and Fan. Fan's intro to say, "I'm a slow ass turtle." I feel like I've seen that. I feel like
Slowly?
I
Is that-
feel like,
Asian
am I
players just
dreaming?
love saying
Am
that.
I dreaming? I feel like I've heard that from lots of Asian players.
I don't believe it for a
I
minute.
think
We
Asia
have that
server
Renok.
players just compare themselves to each other. That's why they all think they're slow, because none of them are Keith.
There are
Yeah, and I
some
think they just
crazy
all
gears.
like to go fast. You can see, indicated by the pre-bans, Zio Harsetti out of there. We are wanting to take that first turn.
There's always some crazy speed numbers, gear tuning from Asia. But as you can tell, but most ban does make sense. Most pre-ban Zio maybe don't want to really contest, or he's banning Zio because he's got the gears. Either way. And also, Harsetti, you don't want to shuffle because you're confident with your speed gear. Might be the reason. Wampy versus Fan 64. Somewhat more relatable now because we got some more numbers compared to the other group. I think
Yeah,
we
they're
just have
definitely
to-
familiar with each other's game.
That's actually
so
really
10
interesting.
total
They
matches.
ran into each other that many times.
Yeah, different sir. Oh, hold up. Hold up. No! No!
Oh my goodness.
Mañana y seria.
No! Wait,
All
what?
right.
Really?
And he might give it up.
Ojito, notas.
No!
Oh my
Notas.
god.
Sí, no notas.
We're seeing Notos versus Bibless.
Did we ever have this?
Well, of course, you
No
gotta pick it
notes?
up on the side of Wampy. No, we haven't seen
I think
this
it's
yet.
the
Every
first-
time
yeah,
I believe he's been left up, he's taken in the first
He
big
was.
spot, G-Clef.
I think this was the first time where the second pick was able to pick up Notos. Wow.
That is a power play from Fan, so he definitely has some kind of plan here in store. Most likely, as we discussed with his lineup, he's going to try to pick up the pace, play very aggressive, and either rely on evasion, look at Setsuka there, to kind of mitigate the damage that the Notos can do, or just kind of kill him outright.
To be made an example of.
Boss.
Wow, and Wampy had the option to go Zio there, but instead goes for Boss or Ruka instead. So he's playing this real slow and steady. Looking to actually just tank it up. Does not want to race a Renok no matter what. Hovering a blue Lua right now. Not likely that gets locked in, but if you tell me he's going to play debuffs here just to pick rain it down onto the Setsuka as well as the Biblis, I believe you.
Not
Blue
in
Lua, though.
26.
Maybe not this one. Well, not in round one. If you told me this was a round 3 pick, I think that's quite possible.
She can be fast. Or faster if you're on a bike.
Speaking of fast, that's
Yeah.
a powerhouse pick. Wampy hovering the Swift Flag Bear Cigarette. No, ups back to Tor. She's finally let out of pre-ban or post-ban jail. First time we're seeing her today, I believe.
Yeah, you're right. She's been pre-banned.
Glory be with us.
Well of Blight. Is it Notos tanking for Tory damage?
As expected.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and which of the mirror? Tenebria?
I'm not sure I like what Fan is cooking here entirely. I'll have to wait to see the full thought process, but it seems like we might need to ban the Noto still despite having like an evasion game plan. And then we're at the mercy of Tori versus a Setsuka. We'll have to see how the bans go. Wampy now needs a 5th pick to round out his draft.
And you really like Wampy's position here because there are quite a bit of single target for Fan on Fan's side, and with a Boss Ruka holding it down and 3rd pick ban protect, you have a lot of safety in almost anything else you want to play, which is what makes this Noto so scary here. Ross does get locked in. We're immune to debuffs through the first 5 turns of combat. Will be a very big threat.
Genesis Ross was the last pick. I know some of you out there was sort of excited from seeing that Rolling Mustang, but not going to be fitting here. Biblis
Notos
ban.
is left through.
That's right.
Yes, we're going to rely on the debuffs. We're going to rely on the evasion. There is a Tori, but we have the likes of Ruel. So I kind of see what Fan is cooking. This is very dangerous. Let's see if it pans out.
Notos is in game. Game 1.
Impress me.
Renock fans, name of the game is have
A ver,
lockdown.
ojo que si es persecución,
Still hurt.
lo lleva de del daño fijo, boludo, la Tori.
Have anything
A ver.
stopping the full combo coming in, so we'll be getting the pilfer plus the bomb going through. Will be a lot of damage though.
Un S2, un S2, un S2, un S2. Bueno, igual.
Should be
No, igual tiene que tirar ulti.
gone in an instant now.
Por el Notos. ¿O no?
Fans
De
really
Validara.
considering using the skill 2 actually does commit to it to finish off the Tori. We're not going to be dropping all of the debuffs just to control Wampy's team.
Ok, pero ¿qué vas a hacer contra Notos, boludo?
This early into the
Yeah,
match.
Acá-
one as well in the form of Tori. He was going to be our unit to hit these evasion units. Now
Acá le tiene demasiada fe a la Setsuka y ¿Y cómo se llama? Y el la evasión.
Good boss Arunka soul burn for Wampy side. We can pull this to the end now, and with this combo, we will be pushing back the entirety of fans. Notos is
¿Y
getting
acá
a
qué hace?
clear lane to the finish line.
Notos got
Y
the
acá
turn.
ulti, ¿no? ¿O no?
The end. Big debuffs and yes, G-Clef, Notos. Gonna see an activation.
Igual ojo que la puede ganar el fan, Porque entre la evasión y el revivir de Ruel,
Has appeared.
No, you're a down. Fortune is on our side.
Fans gonna take the initiative. No boss Arunka buff, no buffs of any kind. We can just close out a few of Wampy's characters here. Really put Notos into the end game. Does he close out the solo? Now, to remind you guys, in
Ya
order
veo qué
for Notos
hace.
to win this end game, he does have a couple of objectives. First, he needs to kill the Ruel. If the Ruel is alive, well, she's
Okay.
going to be able to heal back and top off anybody on her
It's
team.
different this time.
Secondly, you have to kill the Setsuka. Setsuka is alive, evasion could ruin your Notos game plan. And
acá no va a hacer nada.
we'll be activating his skill
No va
on
para
Duel
adelantar y
attack.
poder hacer los
Won't be
dudas.
landing any debuffs, but you're gonna have to press that button regardless.
Who do you choose first?
I'm very curious
Does
as
have
well what
souls on his
artifact he's
side.
rocking.
Doesn't go for the
¿Falla
burn.
o no
Wow,
falla
knows his
golpe?
damage.
A ver.
Once it hits the Ruel, goes for the prime
Ok.
target first, 26k.
Le aplica golpe.
First one down.
Fan, soul.
Y llega seguramente igual no tiene para hacer dual.
The end still winning and there a little bit of a duel attack.
Le metió el dual porque sí, boludo. No tenía la inmortalidad, así que no era dual ahí, boludo. Literalmente fue el 3% de
Here we
RNG.
go, Notos, the second action.
Ok, ahí va el primer miss. Ok.
That's the miss. Fan was hoping for
Ok,
it.
acá tiene que jugársela y metérsela a la Setsuka, boludo, si no acabo. Tiene que pegarle a la Setsuka y rezar que le meta el golpe si no cagaste. ¿O no? Ok. Ok, lo mató aunque falló golpe.
Does get the first kill on a miss, though.
Para mí se la tenía que jugar, no sé, a ver.
Ooh, and Setsuka finally gets the debuff off. I think Notos is actually stuck in a
A ver.
pretty
Bueno, aún tiene chance, pero vamos a ver.
The S1
Oh, yeah.
counterattack. Does the lethal proc? No lethal.
No
A
lethal,
ver.
Setsuka ramping up though, and Notos still 2 turns.
Hay
back
otro
in his S1.
counter.
Another counterattack.
Counter más otro proc del básico. Supongo que Holly es Nato, no sé, quiero creer.
Release.
And one more
Holy
counter.
sacrifice.
Ok. Le queda un turno más,
Can this 2,825
A ver, ¿lo mata?
heal
No.
back?
Ok. Yo creo que ya no el fan, ¿o no?
Now Notos
Chao,
misses.
sí.
Oh no, he misses again. Counter.
GG.
Wow.
Para mí se la tenía que jugar y matar a Setsuka cuando está en modo Dios.
Releasing the god from the draft does get that win. I think this is also
Se
the
la
first
tenía que
win
jugar y
after
no se la jugó.
the expansion, right? From Notos?
Yeah, I believe so as well. Just very fortunate turn of events.
Huh.
Man knew exactly what he was setting up there. Has an evasion game plan and was able to knock off that Tori super early with that first turn lead. That re-knock damage was insane. And the Witch of the Mirror, little alley-oop takes her out. And from there, Notos, as Valky was saying, has so much on his plate. He was able to knock it down to a 1v1 scenario. And he was still so close. But Dan Twitter is out. And what a statement.
Now, this is a problem.
Toby, amigo, una más a tu contenido. Si disfruta más que cualquier otro contenido yankee, está bien. Gracias,
Notos
Toby.
is weak. We need a buff on
Igual ahora estoy
Notos.
recallado porque es re bien tarde, así que no puedo estar hablando
Nice
mucho.
try, guys. No. I will just say that out loud. I don't think it's gonna happen ever. Ever. Maybe not never, but not for a long period of time. Here we go, second game. Pre-ren, by which Seria. Oh,
Ahora acá piqué acá.
dual ban there. And Politis added to the ban. Zombie better catch up. There's
Shulha. Okay.
Wow, good ban on fan side. Takes out the free run with the Briar, which as
Está
well
la
as the Sea
Singret
Phantom. If I
en
didn't know
libre,
any better,
así
I'd say
que
Wonky was the one
ojo
setting
con
up to
eso.
play for a free run hyper carry, but that does seem a little bit out of character for him to play. But Nurse Yolha buffing up high HP characters, that seems perfectly in character with what we've seen from him.
Elina. Early feud, so you don't get sniped with your main damage. Genesis Ross was picked last game, so cannot be picked.
Yeah, it's a great call out, G-Crap. A lot of times you'll see him in contention, either taken away from the combo with Yula, or you'll have that Yula Ross combo. Fan now hovering. We've seen these early Lone Crescent Bellonas on too.
Yeah, I can't say. Yeah, I can't really criticize. She is indeed very good.
Especially
Really
when Tori
good
is out of the
identified
picture,
by
right?
these players because Sea Phantom Politis is pre-banned, as well as in the Lunatic ban slot, Tori is out. There's not a lot of good default counters for this Lone Crescent Bellona unless you want to commit to maybe a New Moon Luna on third pick ban protect. She's very hard to beat when you take her out this early.
Lots to think about. Pretty good to snipe against Bellona and few other.
Sí, sería lo ideal.
For now.
Sería lo ideal todavía.
And Sigrid
Ok, Singret era obvio porque puso la Shulha.
Those are some scary
And this
debuffs
is part
fan
of the
has to be
risk.
prepared for.
It's Falcon.
It's a very risky play. Double debuffs this early. No Genesis Ross, no Tori, so Fan does in fact need to go for a cleanse setup. He needs to play a lot of cleanses here.
Se viene jugando oscuridad tal vez.
Really want to get the grab through this
Oh.
New Moon Luna, as well as the Flag Sigrid. The debuff seals.
Acá Christie
buffable, as well as
y
those
después yo
spears
creo
are just
que
so
Belian.
nasty.
Belian o
And
la
of course,
Aria. Yo creo que es la
maybe you
jugada.
don't need the cleanse if those debuffs never
Christie
land.
y la Belian o Aria, o las dos. Porque como no están protegidos del ban, los personajes tienen que meter los dos. Supongo yo.
That's right. You want to have two hyper carries in case the other one gets banned out. Since Silvertide Christie's on that ban protection slot, we need to pick up something else. Now, Monarch Iceria, Sword Iceria is not here. So let's see what Fan is going to dig for in that second hyper carry position.
Yo creo que es Belian o Aria.
More
Efectivamente.
Brilliant to block out the souls.
¿Qué se le juega a New Moon Luna? ¿Te referís de counter? Los que acabo de decir. Belian o la Aria para que no le metan los Soulburn. Entre las dos es mucho mejor Aria por el tema de la resistencia a efectos.
Also Bellona could be a thing.
Ok, Lermia.
It's not a bad pick, but you do see this is where why top players are considered really good. Lionheart
Y acá que mete.
is a very good pick versus both the Bellona
Motocrow no, porque hay
and
una
Belian, but
Ilinav.
first pick Empyrean Ilinav is going to hold back so much of her damage.
So do you need more? Lumpy? Because if not, Sermia
Oh,
gets
certainly.
banned.
Motocrow, bueno.
Growl?
I'll show you how I
Longer games? Why not?
Last Rider
Yeah.
Crowd does get locked in. I mean, he is really good against AoE attacks, but is it going to be able to out-sustain a Lone Crescent Bellona? I think that's a very, very tough call.
Additionally, right, if that Ilinov is left, that's another unit that is mitigating some of the damage.
Oh, quite a bit of Last Rider's Crowd's damage, even with a Nurse Yoha buffing him up. Oh, oof. Does ban out the Spirit Eye though, so I think he's
Ok,
still
Subrin
going to
y bañó Lermia.
Huh. Depending on how much
Creo
damage you see from this
que cagó,
Luna,
boludo.
there might be some
A ver.
lack of damage, or you have to hold
Es
on
que
to
la
it.
única chance que veo es que la luna tenga la suficiente eficacia para llevarse, para sellar ahí a Ilina.
And also Belian land the hit. Here we go. Get your pillows for this one. I can feel
A
it.
ver.
Yeah, this is definitely the
But don't
slowest
fall
match
asleep.
we've seen in a long while.
Yo creo que este es del
And there's
fan,
no
¿eh?
Ruel.
Este es del fan.
Wow, Wampy says no need for a pillow and blanket. We're getting this match
Es que no tiene sentido bufar a Crow porque no se mete un carajo de daño. Pues tenga bufo o no, por la Ilina. Ahí tiene que focusear. Tiene que pegarle toda la Ilina y matarla lo más pronto posible. No metió un carajo casi. Ok. Yo hubiera pegado básico ahí, pero nah. ¿Y acá qué? ¿Vas a tirar ulti? Ok. No va a meter mucho creo, pero bueno. No. Y se come el proc.
Yeah, this Bellona is gonna throw a whole lot in this game.
She is, but G-Clef, that's another thing that's going to cycle the Last Rider crowd. So between the Last Rider crowd and Luna, we're worried about the
Y sí, Belia en Luna sin almas. Me mata a Christie. Christie del de atrás están bien protegidas de los debufos. Ilina ahora tiene resistencia a efectos decente. Está bastante difícil que meta debufos.
After losing Sermia,
Ella cagó, boludo.
resist, but still brings the team.
But the S1s from the Luna, the crowd, not the most effective characters that you could be pulling. You still have that superhuman. S2, we saw the first turn, he did okay damage, but he's got so much to shoot through.
Uh-huh.
Es que ahora no se enoja la Belona
Not
tampoco.
bad. Still need a lot more turns.
Ahí va otra vez la Belona. Ya le van metiendo la herida. No, ya el One Piece está pataleando, boludo. Está llorando nomás. Está haciendo tiempo porque sí.
Yeah, that injury is just a sign, an early sign of doom here for Wampy. We do get another S3, but the damage, even though it's ramping up, we were talking about the injury.
Ahí va de vuelta.
Look at that, not too much. Another rebuttal from the Lone Crescent Bellona.
See, this could totally happen. A single-digit prediction versus about half the votes.
Ya no patale, no patale.
Look,
What an upset here. It's
Ya
looking
no
Jack
llore, llore
favored in
más.
this lineup.
gee. Fan, 2-0 Wampy. Going up to the winner's
Ya
straight.
está.
We'll see what happens in the winners.
Chau,
But looking
fan.
promising after defeating Notos and also
Yeah,
an
well
incredible draft win. It was overall a very big draft win for Fan. Oh.
A little bit of an awkward lineup there. We were talking about the lack of damage. When Lionheart is taken out, what are we relying on? A superhuman cycling S2 Luna, the Last Rider Crow S3s, but then we have to go through the Ilinov, and these are early picks, by the way. So I don't know, Wampy, maybe some signs of nerves, a little bit of the draft seemed kind of weak. However, he is not out of it just yet.
Yeah.
I would say that's a very good recard, but you do also have to consider, I think Fan just did their homework very, very well. The game one looked clean, trapped the Notos, baited him out, and then got a draft through. And game two there, like you said, really hinged the game around their first and second pick, and just won completely off of that.
Yeah, going back to first. Tori deleted Notos.
And you really have to question this target.
Medio fuera de lugar ese Crow, no sé, siento que debe haber alguna mejor opción. Pues sí. O que banea la Ilina, pero bueno.
Onto the Setsuka. I mean, obviously we're hindsight gaming right here. If you knew you were gonna land, yeah, let's kill the Setsuka first. But really unfortunate turn of events.
Do we wonder if maybe like we did see a few pivotal misses, right? One on the Witch of the Mare, one here on the last hit. Setsuka's gonna hit. We're gonna survive. Another miss here. Do we think it could have been a different story?
Yeah, full could have been both. You know, the RNG was a factor, but also you could have played better, right? That's how you always want to examine every single loss you come across in RTA.
Oh yeah, you want to take better set of decisions so you increase your chances. But in that case,
yeah,
it was very
my
low
takeaway is
chance.
buff Notos.
Come on, let's not ever say that again. Yes, that was a cool game because first,
Ok.
the one and only where the first turn player did not pick Notos when he was allowed, and with a win against it. So fan certainly
Quedan
looking
tres
like he has
peleas.
a lot of answers in this draft.
And
Yeah,
just to
Star?
hammer it home, right, G-Clip? #1 seed versus the lowest voted player. Huge upset here to start
Después
off
estos son los
the
cuartos de finales.
That's a win, fan up there.
El Minoru, Meu Mixed,
Now,
el Texu, Hasamarei, el
going to go
Yomegai,
for
el
a-
Roshin.
maybe a
Pasan a
highlight
cuartos.
match
Ahora
of the
acá se
day.
está
You can always say
decidiendo
that. Heath,
cuál es
this
del
player, as you can see,
último
only
grupo que queda, quién se va a ir
less
al
than
cuartos.
700
A
games
ver
played, slightly over 2/3 wins.
quién gana.
Look at that, 14, number 5 in Asian
Ok.
group, number 5, 14 in server.
Acá la verdad medio que
Got the
el player data
Let me look at that speed badge.
mucho que da igual, porque rara vez van como saltan acá, boludo.
5 out of 5 on the 25 speeders, so going to be very advantageous when you're in a mirror match
O al
against
menos no
other
siempre.
players, and that's exactly what his opponent is today.
It's Keith, not Speed. Here he is, Vic Chun, another really well-known player. And about 2,000, slightly over 2,009 games played. Now look, that many Friarwich, maybe even considering banning that out. Not a bad choice.
So he's practicing what he preaches here. That's a very strong Cleve lineup. You see the Bellion and that Harsetti pre-bans like he was discussing in his video guide. Briarwitch is also a unit that is very prominent here in the E7 Masters, but a lot of times does get banned out or pre-banned.
Yeah, again, a very well-known E7 content creator as well, holding some of the community tournaments, as himself is also the player in the E7 Masters now. We'll see how far he can get. Maybe if he ends up doing really well in the tournament, might be streaming less.
Gotta keep that, yeah, those tournament secrets.
We'll see what happens. This matchup seems to be one of the most spicy ones for tonight. 2-2.
Ok, Kate y el Big Chun. A ver, el Big Chun no decepciona. Ve que apareció en el corto comercial, ahí apareció dando su guía. A ver que aplique su guía acá.
Yeah,
Which
and
I
I'm
love,
a little
which I love.
surprised at the relative record of the 2-2 here. Normally when you are playing speed versus speed in this mirror match, and I mean, you can see which player here is faster with that speed badge. I think Vic is only like 40% of the way there, and both players will be going into it. Unfortunately, no Notos, no scale, but Biblis will be going over to Vic's side for this.
Lady double
first turn,
ban?
as we discussed.
Oh, Tien
huge advantage
instead.
and off for the Shepherd of the Dark Tien.
No
So
Biblis.
Perfumer Biblis is available for Keith.
Yeah, Lady double ban.
Ooh, you know, that might be a better pickup in this Cleve mirror match because both players are going to want to go fast, and locking away Soulburns in a scenario like this is going to be very advantageous, but it does look like Keith is posturing for that free run hyper carry draft. So does Vic have a move that's going to disassemble it from turn 1? I think that's going to be the question of the hour.
Some snipe units against that free run. Vic certainly has to have some answers after all those games. Also Keith, including all the players in the tournament, they're such high up in the ladder that they have to have these experiences throughout the season.
Shall we end
Genesis
this?
Ross. What do you put in that man protection? The main damage source. You reveal it now, or bring some more
It's a
protection.
tricky spot, right? Showing your
Yes.
hand this early. Both players kind of jockeying for position, just taking very strong neutral units on 1 and 2. Vic Chun is going to be the one that has to kind of reveal the game plan early. Will he set the pace? Renock. Definitely tried and true for Mr. Vic.
Setting the paces right.
Huh.
He wants to go first, and Renock at 129 base speed is going to be one of the best choices, but do you want to race 5 out of 5? is Keith. You know, I was almost insinuating Keith was going to take Zio or something, but no, at his speed, you can just take top model Luluka. I mean, she's 3 or 4 base speeds slower with the exclusive equipment, but still, if you know you're faster, you can take this race any day of the week.
Sure. Now, I do want to say, Valky, right, just let the viewers at home know that there is still some speed RNG. So even if your opponent has better speed gear, there is a chance that you could outspeed.
Uh-huh. Yes, that's why always we have to wait until the actual speed bar. Okay.
Ojito, se viene el Cliff con Tomoka y la Collie.
Oh.
High win rate.
Se vienen las carreritas. Ojito. Ojito que está Sea Open. Está el Sea, mira, justo Sea.
There's nothing else that can be faster.
Y sí, hay algún imprint, supongo yo.
A lot of confidence on Key's side. I mean, rightfully so, but going up against Genesis Ross as well as Shepard DN with the Tacticoli, that's not a good matchup you normally look to take on the ladder. Of course, Zio does get locked in, may even be the post ban here, and Vic does need one more pick to follow through to really bridge the team together.
There's a good potential that Zio might just be banned, knowing that Keith is going for the first turn speed. Another anchor.
I'll teach you a lesson.
Or an imprint. Wonder Silk.
I think it's a very interesting
¿Cómo meter otro imprint de speed o vamos a ir a otra cosa?
Perhaps a green Vildred, which combos way more naturally with the Renock.
Una Ruel,
Whenever you're playing
ok.
against that Perfumer Biblis, I think your options are always very limited and you always feel like your hands are tied. So it's an understandable pickup, and Keith is hovering the Ruel last pick there. Oh boy. I think that's
A ver, los
he's
bans.
backing out of the race.
He's either backing out or he's so
A
confident
ver,
that he
ya veo que gana la Tomoka. Me estoy viendo de acá la China, va a ganar la Tomoka.
We'll see.
Contra todo
When you kick too
pronóstico.
hard, your brakes might just catch on fire.
And we're saying Ruel can fix those brakes?
No, you have
She
to
can
get out
revive
of
my car?
You have to get out of the car and escape.
Ok, todos los imprints se
Okay, no
mantienen.
brakes here. So just take out the brakes. And then you'll have full speed. And Deanne is the ban. Okay. Let that Zio go through. With an imprint. So Keith? He's trying to take the damage and survive and then counterattack? Is that his game plan with Yulha?
We have seen some
It's
cut-ins from
looking
Yulha,
like
so
it.
we'll have to pay close attention to the CR bar.
Okay.
A ver.
Big Chun Zio starts. This top model Luluka is indeed fast.
A ver a quién le pega. Le ganó la.
He is the one. Soul burn
Le ganó la Tomoka, boludo. Le ganó la
This, you don't
estúpida de
wanna take
Tomoka,
any
boludo.
chances, and immediately that's going to trigger the Biblis passive, healing
Ay,
back
Dios.
off, as well as the
Bueno,
shield there.
y-
Going to make things a little bit tougher for the Renok to play against, especially knowing you have a nurse Yolha there anchoring the whole thing down. She can double somebody's HP and heal them back.
Yo
but
creo
pushed
que era
back by the
S2 a la
Renok.
Tomoka para
Targets
bajarle el
looking from
ataque y
Vic,
no
really
mate al
running over
Ras
the
con la
speed bump he's
extinción.
just got.
Pero bueno, no sé.
The stat down.
Ah, no. Ahí tiene que matar a la Yulja, toda la Yulja. Lo único.
Luluka.
There's a pop.
Big takeout. Two of them in stealth.
We still have the Yula S3. Perfumer build is already paying off big time. S3 so scary here for the side of Vic. On top of
A
the
ver.
S2 healing she already did.
Ok, le pega.
On standby.
Todos provocados, menos Ras obviamente.
Will be getting a natural cut of the turn here. We're dropping
A ver
the
acá.
S3.
Mete todo. Ok. Y acá puede revivir. ¿Qué pasó, mi querido Vicchu? ¿No dijiste que free to play se podía ganar? Que no ocupabas tener a todos. La rebardeaba. A ver, ¿le dará daño? No creo que tenga tanto daño. ¿Le dará los daños? A ver. A lo mejor sí. Igual está un poco tocado el raso, así que no me sorprendería. A ver. Ay, no se lo llevo con la extinción. Cagaste. Va igual. La puede ganar. Ok, está con sigilo y ya no tiene ataques en área. Acá sí ya pegar proc cagó. Y pega proc. Ah, bueno. Ay, Dios. Ok.
Little extra on top, but here we go. Vic's been waiting for this. Genesis Ross, full skills available. Rips the soul burn.
Black.
You take out the nurse Yolha first. She's the reviver for Keith's team.
This is my mission. And your fate.
Here comes Ross again.
Ok.
Ross still standing.
Le tomó como le quedó un turno para que pegue las habilidades, pero igual la va a ganar. Esta es del Kate.
Takes round number 1. That's some scary stats that we saw. Especially his speed, as you can tell. So now, even with the first turn pick for Vic Chun, might be having some headache if you're down that much speed.
There's just a lot of value between the Biblis and the Eula.
Day Soul Weavers.
Yeah, that's right. Jockey, just real quick, the Soul Weavers you mentioned, so power. It's a cleave versus cleave battle. We give up the first turn and we're still able to survive and clap back. But as you were saying, Valk, the Biblis, the Eula.
Yeah, I was saying the Biblis and the Yolha, it gives you so much more utility. Even if you do give away that first turn, like Zeo goes, what does Zeo do? Zeo has no combos, no follow-ups, especially with the Shepherd DM banned out. Keith basically just diffuses the bomb off of the plan right away, and then immediately he's just kind of taking it easy. Even if he does mount the retake, it's just a slow march towards victory. It's like a victory lap even.
Lunatic
Just a lot of confidence too.
Yes, Car?
Just a lot of confidence in the draft from Keith, right? A lot of times you'll see either they'll try to match the speed or you'll see a Zeo ban, but let's focus on round 2 like you were just saying, G-Play.
Yes, lots of speed banned out, including Amid, Politis, Freeren, Bossarunka. A lot less, a few less imprints.
To overcome.
You can still speed.
Yeah, and that last game was a little bit of a sneaky tech from Keith as well. Some people in chat were wondering why that top model Luluka was lapping the Ross again and again. You do have to consider that character is likely 320. Let's just even say 300 speed. She gives herself speed buff, that's 400 speed. You superhumanize that, double the speed, that's 800 speed on top model Luluka. Yeah, she will run laps around Vic. But you know what? You can run laps. If Arrowell keeps you alive, you're still cool.
We've seen a lot of Arrowell today.
Especially from the right side too.
Yeah, that's a good interaction. Maybe on that, it depends on the first pick or second pick, but Arwell just seems to be the knight of choice for today's mitigation. Big escort, damage reduction, and that stun, that strip, getting that hit chance. Doesn't always pay off, but she has a lot of potential and utility as well.
Surprisingly, Arwell
Not given to
has a
despair.
75% win rate. 12 games.
Oh, that's impressive.
12 games, 13 games, yes.
Very high.
Very high.
Cool. And if you look at pre-bans, there are a lot of characters that are just so integral to making a combo. I think both players are very wary. They might even just say, all right, you know what, you want to ban away my combo? Let's play good fundamentals. You know, we'll play tank, support, standard, and just slug it out like real men. We're dropping the flag Sigrid debuff. Ooh. I mean, if you look at the pre-bans too, no Nurse Yolha for the auto cleanse, no Genesis Ross. We're getting a lot of value off of the
¿Hay
flag
Tori
Sigrid.
Open?
Luna Christie.
Sí, hay Tori
We've seen
Open.
this archetype before. This time around, though, right? We discussed Sea Phantom is off the board, but Tori's still available. So Vic has a different scenario in store for him compared to his predecessors. That Tori has to be watched out for, and it's on the ban protection spot.
Also thinking. Again, anything after, including Salome, is not allowed until 2 weeks after, until today. So no Salome, no Estelle, no new artifact. Hovering back to Luna. Tenebria. Pulling
Keith
Tori.
is weighing his odds. Does he like his effectiveness check into this Christie? I think he'd rather take the Luna, or maybe, I don't know if you take the Festivita here. But Luna's certainly seems like she'll work. Just Soulburn the Seal and get all of the passives out of Vic's team. Can't be bad value, but no, go for the Witch of the Mirror. I think he's just gonna take
Tenebria
his
contra
chances into this
Christie. Estaba demasiado confiado
I
con
mean,
su
he was very confident
eficacia.
in round one, and we were talking about how good this guy's gear is, so that does seem kind of par for the course for Mr. Keith.
Christie.
I will say, whenever you're up against a Christie, you're expecting upwards of 300 effect resistance. And with this Aria in play, I mean, her passive gives the entire team even more resistance. This number is stacking higher and higher, and this is looking pretty rough for Keith. But who knows? Maybe he's just has 350 effectiveness, and Vic has no idea what he's signing up for. We'll have to see. These guys are really just charging into each other.
Aria. Very bulky team is being created on the right.
Witness the
In the
futility of our
second
world.
twisted K-Run of the day of the tournament.
It's hollow justice at best.
A lot of debuffs now for Keith.
Human Luna
You
against
have
Aria
access.
though.
Yeah, a little awkward, but depending on our band selection,
Okay.
okay, we had to get those out. Those are the kind of two key factors we were just about to discuss between the lack of souls, the soul tax, and the ignore effect resist soul burn on Luna.
That's a lot of soul on packs. Keith's still up one. Now the man in damage source, Tori survived, and the team looks good to target on specifics. Eviction a little slower, tankier. He's got the Lona and K-Ron. Let's see if that's enough. Round two. Cigarette start.
Some rubber? Rally up, everyone. Where the banner
When the
leads.
buff stack for Vic is looking good.
Still, that
No
cool
fears
Wow.
landed.
Ah.
Okay, we'll pass one check now. Get through the second.
Tenebria.
Let me change you.
Right the glass.
Effectiveness. Oh!
Ojito. ¿Y esa eficacia?
And Keith
A la
is just
mierda.
confident.
Ya decía yo, boludo, si piqueó Tenebria viendo ya una Christie,
And he has the fall of the Tori
es que tiene que tener una banda de eficacia, boludo.
into the K-Ron. Show me the damage.
Y activó Dueño de Pesadilla. Oh, Dios.
This is even worse.
¿Otro más?
Oh no. What a brutal start here for Vic. Definitely on the back foot now. That Master Nightmare proc was just... that was just nasty.
How?
I'll set the pace.
I don't even know how you can get that much effectiveness.
On your way.
Target.
Sigrid S2 is gonna go through here. Resisted the debuff. Bat back from Malona. Is this too late? You get some damage in. Oh, and the arrow goes down as well.
The promises of this spear
Elinav
will
soaring
not
through the sky
be
into
forgotten.
target.
I'm sorry I
Bit more
couldn't do
damage,
that.
but it's all about this Tori.
Oh yeah, this is such a problem unit against Lone Crescent. Bologna lands the hit, and certainly
Nightmare.
it's enough to kill.
2-0.
Ok.
Keith. What a scary player.
Oh yeah, that looks just so one-sided. And Vic is such a strong player too, but man, Keith, from the first game with the the cleave versus cleave, the confidence to kind of let it through, and in this match, hyper carry versus hyper carry, he has the confidence to have enough effectiveness to go over the top. Now, he did have to ban that Arya, right? Maybe he wasn't that confident, but still, what a lineup of debuffs.
This is insane to break through Christie. Now, as an opponent, what can you do now that you know the numbers? Fan waiting in the winners. Might be scrolling through some of the gears right now as we speak. Like, what?
Can we
I'm
stack any
taking
more ER?
a lot more ER. Do I have enough ER?
Well, I know a lot of players in the past have said ER, kind of a fake stat, and we've had a lot of characters that can buff it. We saw Christy, Arya taken out in that Witch of the Mirror when she's just on a roll. It's oppressive.
This is my mission.
Yeah, we've seen
And your
moments of impressive from the weeks before. Lots of cool drafting, really good damage, some like damage breaking Selene, green Selines, and all that. But this, we're talking different levels.
Jeez.
Yeah, being able to break through a Christie usually means with potentially some stat stick on your artifact, you're looking at upwards of 270, 300. Yeah, once Vic loses all of his agency here, I mean, the Maloney just can't keep up. Especially with the speed buff coming in from the Flag Sigrid, you just run over any turn 2 composition the moment those debuffs stick.
That certainly was a game key.
That was another
2-0.
mess with a Nightmare proc, by the way, at the end. Holy,
Yes.
even the RNG on the side of Keith.
Had a lot of nightmares. We still have to watch out for those artifacts coming through. Man, imagine yourself as Big Chun. Says, okay, Christy, okay. I should be okay, right? Delivery should be coming in 5 minutes. I can eat that and go live after 10 minutes. And nope. Nothing according to your plans. Tenebria just breaks through. Literally a nightmare in your game plan. So Keith, up there, fan, might be getting some chills saying, okay, so I banned Tenebria. I think that might be the best game plan. I don't know. So he got a couple of more minutes as we go through a break. So once we come back, we will have that winner. Span versus Keith.
Ok, queda una pelea más. Oh no, oh, no, mentira, quedan 3, mentira.
して世界を守るって矛盾している。
絶望と苦痛、恐怖、魔獣たちの歪めが鳴り響くたびに私たちは待ち続けました。制約は戻ってくると。
目を覚ませ。そしてお前たちを救わなかった制約を恨め。
なぜ私を救ってくださらなかったのですか。
Welcome back, everyone, to E7 Masters. Winner time for Group H. Fan Keith 2-0ing their opponent in the first match, second match. We'll see who goes up early. A lot of fast games, some cleaving games as we expected from Group H. Didn't really expect that much to go through, honestly. So had a couple of minutes, and before you get into the lobby of the tournament, you get to change your equipment, artifact. You can change all the stats in between the matches, not in between the rounds, of course. Lunatic, if you played Lunatic before, you can't change anything within the game's rounds itself. So maybe that's a bait. Maybe the Tenebria could have changed some stats. You never know. You never know what will happen. Those can be baits, but did you have enough time to change all that? We'll see. Sometimes when you're screwing through all those equipments, it takes more than an hour to change. Not that many units if you want specific numbers on them. So, time to start the engine for winners. Fan 2-0ing, defeating Notos. After that,
very impressed.
Yes.
Fan is a standout player today, man. That statement against Wanpi, the top seed, leaving up Notos and putting on a showcase, a workshop for everybody on how to handle that man.
Fan. Seems like there might just be ways. There might just be ways up against a very stat-filled player. Keith, as the icon of speed shows. That's not something that you can get easily. Only the chosen people, the worthy, can have those icons. And not many can handle that icon.
The ones who are born to play Epic 7.
In a very fast way. Some different numbers, different type of gameplay. As Keith, we've just seen him, so we'll see what happens first time. Bumping to each other at all. No games through the spring season. Okay. Those agent players. We'll see. Can we go into games as soon as possible, please? Okay, let's go. Harcity. Notos fan.
Let's go.
Again?
Let's see.
Not against Keith.
Notos Open, como no. Era obvio que iba a pasar.
That's really interesting.
Okay,
Fan
el
going
Kate
for
va a
two
clear.
completely opposite strategies
Oh, no.
against Keith and Wanpi.
Tema
So
que está así
doing their
open.
homework here, you have to wonder, what are you cooking? Keith, but does go for the MLD
Junior
end
Bill
here.
is still available.
Posturing for that cleave, looking to lean into the Soulburn playstyle. Picks up the boss, Iruka.
Ballsy, aren't we?
Renok. Both players actually banned Harceti. Want to go fair and square When we get into the speed battle,
I'll take care of it myself.
Leafy!
Oh, we
Seen it
saw
last
something
week.
very similar. Yeah, Leafy versus a Nodo's game plan in a previous set, and it did not work out for the Leafy player. Keith, though, has been so confident. I think this could be a different story.
Man, normally this is not a matchup you take. Leafy is about, I think, somewhere from 8 to 9 speed slower than a Renok just from base speed. So Keith, once again, is showing his hand, just going, yeah, I'm fast. What are you going to do about it?
More imprints.
There's no way around it. We're fighting.
That might be the only answer. Azio's
A lot
allowed.
of very strong. She gets free combat readiness push off the Shepherd DN. So looking to set up combos on combos here. He might not just have to ban that on the 4th pick.
More imprints. Put extra paper in the shoes.
Might just have to.
Oh. Ice cream. Silence.
We're hovering.
I've made it this far. I won't lose.
My Christie's different.
Yeah, that's
Try
a statement
me.
this time around, though.
Try
oh my
me.
God, he's hovering with
Try
the
me.
I
Mary.
think he's trying, man. I think he might be trying.
Keith?
He goes, you disrespecting?
This is a
Did you not
bait.
just watch?
Do you go for the bait? Do you care?
The
Oh.
secondary speed imprint in the green Vildra, though. Oh, he's
Yeah,
hovering.
picking
He's
up the
hovering
pace.
one of the green
Looks for
thieves.
units.
He's now pressing the try me
Shall we
button.
clean
No!
One of the few matches where Perfumer Bill is not on the pre-ban and not in the picks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I guess because we're so aggressive and Nodos is here, he really develops how both drafts will go.
Christie. Lots of tanks on the left, and Notos. Survive both imprints. Not getting taken out.
Tack Coley still available.
Oh, Yakoli is available on the right. But Notos might just be getting the turn. We'll see how the lockdown goes from the Leafy. Yeah, not just Leafy, some combo speed. The end. Let's see.
Oh, waste of time.
Fast. Leafy,
My
31,000.
God, Keith.
This fast and 31,000?
You can run. You can't.
Outspeeds the
Ojito,
Renok by
se viene el
6%.
ET God.
I think he picks first turn
El
even
ET God.
without the speed imprint.
Uh-huh.
Silver
se
is
viene el
gonna
ET God.
activate at the end, though. This is going to be a lot of trouble for Fan.
2 stacks and Omen.
We're prepping.
Ok,
Boss Aruka is
el
prepped.
ET God.
Let's play hide and seek. I'm in. Can I catch you?
And this is the importance of the combo. Once you have the DN in the draft, you send every other character back on the combat readiness bar.
As long as I can see you. I do not care if this fight.
All right, let's see if we land on the Christie again. The real check. Full resist.
Oh.
That's a little more
Ojito.
normal. Wouldn't expect that from the Tack Coley, but Keith still
Y
coming
acá
up
la
big.
leta hiper speed ahora tiene, yo creo que le va a recontra speedear.
Oh, and this is where it gets scary. 57 total HP
Sí,
now.
chao.
Double speed. She gets
Look
another
at
turn.
that.
Kraken is ready.
You keep swarming.
Send that god.
Va a meter extinción, así que chao.
Oh,
Take the god to
Extinction!
kill a god.
Holy
Yeah, that
sacrifice!
Do it.
Taken
Preparation.
down!
And review.
Oh man.
Keith is built different. The confidence that he has in his picks. Van tried to change it up, you know, letting the Nodos through this time, but picking it for himself and confidently has that Lethe. We're talking about the effect resist interactions, right, with the Christie versus Witch of the Mirror in the previous match. Lethe Solburn, though, we came over the top, we were able to land that. Tack Coley had that follow-up, but that extinction, the Omen. Lethe finally gets, I think, a win versus Nodos. She has had some wins, but not against Nodos.
Big speed.
Really got to hand it to him for that game plan. The Tacticoli was not there to land on the Notos nor the Christie. She was there for the other characters. The moment you got the boss Runkas out the way, the Lethe would just start running laps, and once you get the Kraken going, doesn't matter if you're a holy sacrifice or not, the extinction will get the job done.
So this is what a game looks like at the peak, the top of Apex of Asia server. we've seen a little bit, and I like it. I love it. Okay, even the draft is a little fast. Top one a little
Yeah.
Briar Witch, Zio. Free red. Taken out. Oh.
Water fan is reeling from that just brutal match one. Keith is just showing that he is him. The way that he picks, the way that he drafts, everything is just so confident and calculated. Fan now, Perfumer Billis being picked up. I can't believe she was let through game one.
Yeah, funny. Biblis in game 2.
Is that a first?
I think so.
Game 2 is so respectful. Biblis first pick, and then we're staring down the Ruel. Ooh, are we skipping over the Ruel? Is Keith going to cook here?
Shall we end this?
So far, I like the smell coming from this Keith kitchen. So let's wait. I can wait.
No pasaron códigos durante el live. Sí, sí pasaron.
It's his kitchen. Yes.
I'm at the edge of my seat with
A
what
ver.
he's picking. He's just surprising us, and the way he drafts, it's like his opponent's gonna have a counter pick. But if Keith's gear is good
¿Dónde están
enough,
los comentarios?
he doesn't care, and it's paying off. But fan, he played so well in his previous set. Let's see. Signs of life need to come out. His turn of life.
Esto qué mierda es, boludo.
Kiras, Ruel. There's no Yulha. No Dien.
¿Dónde era para ir al chat mío? Acá, ¿no?
Rook no false
Free
first.
Isoline.
Ok.
Here comes
Bueno, no carga acá el chat de mierda.
Third pick this time. This could be an alternative unit.
Cuando se digna cargar el
If you
chat,
have multiple copies of the same character, you could do different builds and kind of tech in and out.
pasaron dos códigos, creo yo.
Against Vic, he used a very high
El
effectiveness
típico
boost
con
in Ruel. I wonder if he's
hojitas
just
y
going for a
oro,
fake out, or
talismanes,
maybe going for
supongo.
a high speed variation here instead. Or maybe still going for that slow effectiveness build.
Ok,
and then letting his
ahí.
4 or 5 picks bridge him over the top, like Car would say.
So you're saying this might be Tenebria number 2 on his account?
Yeah, you gotta keep the opponent guessing, right? That's how good players cook.
On a different level, I see. Can certainly be a thing. Scrolling through a couple. Festivita, Strays. You're having less than 7-8 seconds now.
All right, Keith, what you got for us?
Could I give you a hand?
Festive Ida will get locked in. We're looking to just let the Festive Ida get run over by the flag, get her buff stripped, and then maybe just splash damage and Spirit Isolene in one go. Completely take
Ok,
out the anchor
ahí están
that
los
is the game.
cupones.
Right, Senya.
A
And extra
ver.
layers on top.
Love you.
Okay, fan. We actually seen some Dragon Bright Senyas pop off in this tournament. So pick up from fan on 4. How does he round
Buah.
this out on 5?
Está re bugueado, boludo.
Hyper carry pick on mid. Are we setting the pace? That aggression could be coming over the top.
It does generate you a lot of tempo if you get both attack and crit damage buff on the Spirit Isolene, but do you really want to play that way when there's a Ruel? on the
Yo
other
metería
side? You do a
una
lot of
área,
single
creo.
target damage and Ruel clicks a single button and all of that damage just gets undone. It's kind of a tough call.
He's hovering.
Cristi estaban.
We must fight.
I mean, locked in.
Yeah, that's an all-in game plan from fan. Keith now has the counter pick available. Round it out. Either draw out a ban here, or just have a unit that can kind of just secure the victory.
Go faster.
That's a fast character. 120.
Van Ruel. Creo que sí. No, mentira.
Or faster.
Ah, van. Ah, está ahí Ruel. Ah, si te referís a que la van a bañar ahora, ni idea.
Or if you're confident about the
A ver,
Tenebria,
acá
prepare.
está el otro cupón.
Lucky.
Oh, man.
Ojito Lucky.
We're bringing some heat to this game.
El Lucky.
Uh-huh.
El verdadero
Scary
prota.
proposition, especially when we have like a carry like Spirit Isolene. Can't let that Aki through on mid. Handshake ban on 5.
When you're against one of the fastest players in the game, you really don't want to find out if that's like a 300 or a 310 speed Aki. Just get him out of here so he has no chance to ruin your game plan. Let the Spirit Isolene hyper carry and let her fly.
Keep 1-0.
Timeless space.
One away from advancing.
Of course, this is going to be the speed witch Tenebria this time.
Yeah, okay. Speed. Still lending.
Still a great landing on those debuffs. 7 out of 8. Stuns.
Lots of
Full
stars.
sweep. We're gonna have more debuffs to it.
Silence, D-breaks.
Puro stun.
Was that almost everything?
Ay, no. ¿Y acá qué hace?
I think so.
Barring the block on the Spirit Eye, that's everything you could ask for. Veritas does get rid of 1 debuff, but still defense break is there against the Biblis.
Ok, tira esto.
Uh-oh.
El bufo de bloqueo.
Does come in.
Yo no creo, ¿eh?
Genesis Ross is all inning the Spirit
Ahí
Eye.
va.
We're dropping the seal and the collapse.
Ay, no. Se olvidó de la wea esta. No, ¿qué hiciste, hombre? A ver, igual acá hay un tema, ojo. Porque si tira ulti y la seña, le va a sacar el sigilo. Le va a sacar el sigilo a Coso. A la... Ahí tiene que tirar básico. Ahí si tira ulti, cago, boludo. Ahí es básico. Si no va a activar la pasiva de la otra, efectivamente. Está. Ahí tiene que darle básico a la Selene y rezar que le caiga stun. Cae stun. Ojo. No, tragedia. La tragedia. La tragedia.
25,000. That is a tanky Biblis. Does she land? 3 provokes. That's everything you could possibly ask for.
Okay. Got through 1 set of turns.
Y ahora, ahora sí, no hay necesidad de no tirar la ulti. Se guarda las armas para la Selene. Ok, acá quien va a reír de vuelta a la Tenebria. ¿O qué va a hacer?
Time for Ruel to go. We're going to be using the skill 3 to protect the Festive Ida.
Spirit Eye, do you go for the hit? Open the gates first.
Any of that mortality. Yeah, brings back that flag bearer secret as well. Slow playing from Fan. He has to watch out. He's setting up that kill with that Festive Ida play.
Fan is back in
Working
game.
down the Dragon Brysenia a little bit, and I think both players are starting to slow down a bit, just playing very slow and respectful. Sigrid finally gets the turn here. Instead, we're gonna go for the S2 Soul Burn, gets rid of that defense break. Hold.
Should be enough.
She's gone.
Oh yeah, 2 times over.
Ok. Victoria para Fan. Se está ahí remontando la cosa.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, showing that Keith can bleed. He was looking so dominant. First L for today. Very well played from Fan. It was looking a little risky. That Dragon Brysenia pick, and then that play with that Spirit Eye Selene, not proccing that Festive Ida just yet, slow playing to his victory, getting that revive on that Swift Flagbearer Sigret, and finding that kill potential, right? That's the unit that was going to seal the deal for Keith. Very good identification from Fan.
That was
Very well put.
all the stuns, right, Avaki?
Dragon Brysenia, I think now she's kind of fallen by the wayside in a lot of players' drafts, but if you do play a lot of Spirit Eye Selene hyper carry, she's a very squishy character, so going to very easily activate her, but we're going to immediately jump into game 3 and look at the pre-bans now. 2 Knights banned out for Keith, and Fan just says, yeah, no Notos and no DM, please. I don't want to get cleaved again.
Stand in line, please.
Yulha. And Ilinav, Bossarunka also added to the pre-bans.
Round 3 is always exciting. You'll offer Keith.
Is there a chance that Fan contesting for speed? There is Renak. You never know. This is a demonic server with speeds.
Yeah, these two players in particular, you just can't get a read on them. One game they're looking like, well, Fan especially is just so unpredictable. Keith looking very dominant, but Fan taking him out. Now we're into the round 3, hovering over his second pick, showing that speed from that Renak, like G-Clef was saying.
Can you feel
See
it?
if he keeps up that initiative.
Jacko? Ron?
I don't know about that one.
Ron? Jacko?
Wait, G-Clef, you trying to take us back to 2023?
DZ I Karina?
Oh my! Ay,
DZ?
caramba!
Oh, Make Chloe.
That's more
Yeah,
normal.
we'll go
There
for
we
a big Chloe. You know, a bit more of a standard match, reviver both sides type deal.
Oh! Man, when Keith hovers these speedy characters, doesn't feel like a joke to me.
Ok, Renak y Pikemi para que no le saquen counter.
Early on,
Se vienen los clips. Ojito, se viene de vuelta el hipercarry del Ete. No hay enough a la vista, así que puede jugar tranquilamente. Ahí podría mandarle. Tampoco hay seria, ojo. El único personaje con resistencia a perforación es la Ravi. Después está la Diem, pero es muy RNG. Digamos, depende de los orden de habilidades. Quien tire primero las ultis, ¿no? Entre el DT y Diem.
And if you guys remember, when Keith has Nurse Yolha with his opener, even if you do somehow outspeed him, the Nurse Yolha will just be able to bring them right back. So it's looking like a lose-lose for Fan if he doesn't know how to defend against this.
I cannot let you pass.
Christy? Super tanking up the team.
Yeah, almost maybe a little too defensive to Christy. Yeah, I wanted to see a hyper carry come out. Tori is the option for Fan. And behind that Christy, after that immunity wears off, we can still maybe shrug off some debuffs here and there. Depends what he wants to put though. He has a lot of options on what he can put in the back row.
To watch out. Desaline can activate. Afternoon flan for now.
Wow, Vildred being hovered. That is so much tempo for Keith. We've already seen how much damage and speed is in the Lithy draft, but with Flan and Vildred, oh man, Fan is looking like he's in a lot of trouble. Young Senya does get locked in, but I'm sure she gets banned out right away.
Lots of love for
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's even hovering over the regular green Senya, but she does get taken out like Valky was saying. Top 4 for the side of Fan, and the other Flan on the other side, I think, deeming too much damage getting through. There's still a lot of aggression from the side of Keith.
The problem, as Valky pointed out, will be that Yulha. Yeah, bringing back the target.
Sí, más o menos.
The winner goes up
Nunca
to the main
falla, ¿no?
stage.
Le ganó a la puta reina, no te jodas. Ay, no me jodas, boludo.
Very well played on Fan's part to put the make Chloe
Ok.
in order to
¿Y acá quién le va a pegar a la Rina?
But as you
El
can
tema es que
see,
la Rina que
the
después se
issue
pone el
when you are
sigilo, boludo.
playing against Lethy is that if she has more HP
Efectivamente.
than you,
Y ese dual, y ese dual misterioso.
oh, that is
Y
not
ese
good
dual
at all.
misterioso, boludo.
This is going to get the kills going early and
No, ¿de dónde salió ese dual misterioso? Nah.
We're not even halfway done.
Nah.
On standby.
We got attack Holy straight into a superhuman Kraken.
Will Fan get a turn?
He may
Before he
get one,
uses
but
all-
what will he have left?
Ah.
Take out this.
Y esa Rina, boludo. Nah.
Just a waste of my time.
Play the animation.
He's called! Keith. What a insane player! with
Yeah, this
full
guy.
stats. Oh my.
This guy's lethal, just built different. He did have that imprint Vildred, but as we were discussing, when this man is showing aggression, all gas, it looks unbeatable. It seemed like Fan was a little stuck in the draft, trying to hover between going overly tanking, hovering over some Senyas, but it just seems like it's a struggle in the Lunatic format when you have an opponent like Keith with the speed, with the gear, the effectiveness. What do you do?
Well, in this case, flop over and go to the lower bracket, but this is not a draft that anybody can just do because it's so difficult in order to get a Lethe like this going. I mean, she's fast, she can outspeed Renox, she has enough HP
Son
to just naturally kill, and if
mamadas.
you nerf buff her, well, she's killing whatever she wants, and this is going to be a problem for anybody facing against Keith going deeper into the tournament.
Lethe all of a sudden. Since
Oh
last
man,
week.
43.6k, and yes, chat, this is your warning. Absolutely do not try this at home unless you are willing to break a few eggs, okay? Because, man, in order to get that build off, you're gonna need a lot of gear, and I'm not just talking about speed, HP too.
And talking about gear, his Witch of the Mirror, Keith showing that this unit can combat the likes of massive effect resist, but this is round 2 where Fan shows signs of life. Look at the well play here from that cigarette. Bringing in the crew, knocking out the unit that was going to take out his hyper carry and secure him the victory.
Man, that was such a good counter. But it just came down to this Lethe, unstoppable, maximum power team again. The big problem was actually
Double Lethe wins.
so Yulha, right? If there's no Yulha, Lethe just cannot pull off that combo.
Giving me a headache.
The Yolha is definitely a key ingredient in this cook.
It's just a waste of my time.
Yeah, there's so much HP scaling characters in games that Yulha is such a cool pick. Keith up there from Group H. Now let's bring it down to the lores. 1v Victim, the 2 names that had the highest predictions actually down in match 4. So let's check that out as soon as possible. Keith, I think this was a solid win. Super confident in his stats and ready to go, prepped to win those matches. You could see the confidence in his face. That's sort of the advantage you also have. You have that those stats ready to go. So let's move to match 4 now. 1v versus Viction. Have been waiting for some time for not a rematch, but a lower bracket match.
Bueno.
Very shaky start for Juan P, the top seed and one of the highest voted players. He does have that second chance of life in the elimination bracket, but he's gonna have to come out big here. Has Vicchun as his opponent, and then he's gonna need a follow-up match.
And your opponent, Vicchun. Let's go to
Big, after facing off a tough first round, will be finally going up against somebody who I think is a decent matchup for him. Looking to get some footing back in the ground so he could keep himself in the tourney here. Briarwitch, if he does get one of those drafts off, I think it's quite favor for him. So if you're in chat and you're cheering for him, maybe we'll see some Briarwitch games.
Vicchun, Vicchun.
1v, slightly higher.
Ooh. Yeah.
80% win rate there. But all about adaptation. It's all about adaptation. And Victor, there was a tough
That's a
loss
good point.
against Keith.
And I think if you watch any series that Fan plays, Fan looks like a player that both researched their opponent very well as adapting super well. Like dropping the game to Keith is one thing, but did almost come back, and the game 2 win was very, very clean, especially considering that you are playing against somebody that's faster than you across every single unit.
We'll see Notos, our city lady of skills. The end. Bibilis allows.
Bibilis Chan, surely first pick this time.
By 1p. So how is Vicchun going to respond adding to this, starting the build up.
He does fan out his own DN, so this is going to be very telling if he goes for a more all-in strategy or if he goes for more of a standard opener like we've been seeing with the boss Arunka as well as Ner'zhul.
Giving a lot of thoughts to this.
Oh yeah.
First
There's a lot to go
pick.
through, especially in his second pick position. I think he is going to hover over maybe a boss Ruka, a little safer play instead of coming out of the gates hot in a Khalif fashion, taking some 2 powerhouse units. Much more flexible draft from Big Chun.
Yeah, I was about to say no Yulha. There she is. The school buff is real. Imagine your entire school with that type of a nurse.
Yeah. I think I
No
have
one
the fever
would miss
every
a
other
day.
day.
I know, no one would miss a day. They would go in sick to school. Yulha.
Getting some speed in there. With that Ruel we've seen on 2. Tried and true. That reassurance. I would like to hear, G-Clip, if you can get the stats for me, the Ruel win rate whenever you get a moment.
Eru. Before we started today, it was 24 games total, 37.5% win rate. Actually, very low.
Okay.
37.
Yeah, I was actually thinking it's going to be on the lower end. Despite how often she's picked, there's a few units like that we've been discussing, but look at Vic here. We didn't have the best showing with that prefect Arya, but that was against the likes of Keith. This is a much different scenario for him.
And also drops in the flag bearer, so going to look to play debuffs, let Wampi get the first turn, but immediately take control of the draft back into his own hands. So Wampi, does he close out with a combo so he can bridge into the Renac, or is he going to go for something more standard, you know, play like a bruiser, trade hit for hit, and just get value out of the Biblis and the Ruel in the long game?
Gala can certainly chew through. Oh,
You talked about this combo earlier, G-Club.
Oh, the Renac. Oh, and Saria. Hello, beautiful.
I love it, G-Club. My man, definitely some shout out to the E7R team, the best looking characters I think across all games. Saria usually gets banned out though. She's such a powerhouse unit when left to her own devices. We'll see if Vic decides to leave it up this time.
Oh.
A little bit of a different draft than you see normally when Saria's picked on 5.
Hello! How may I help you?
Make Chloe is a good pick in mitigating the damage. It's almost hinting at a Saria ban here. Looking to just reduce the additional slash damage coming in from Renac as well as the DK Sharoon. So looks like Vic likes his odds in the long game, and if he doesn't, well, you know, pray for the best.
Wampi. Still a couple more seconds. There we go. Made Saria. 5 picks.
Get him out.
Take out. This means we have,
It's gonna be a longer match.
Sharoon in game. Renac seems like a problem. Doesn't it, with Biblis? Let's see. Wampi versus Big Chun. Lower bracket.
Consider this an honor. I can take you in my sleep.
Give me them stats, says Renac as he pilfers. Sending it in to the boss Arunka. Ripping the skill 3. Landmine in order.
Oh, and this is going to hurt. She self-stuns, immediately cleansed by the Dragon King Sharoon for everybody wondering. That is the combo. And now this could get real scary for Vic. Vic needs to hold on to try to stabilize. Defense break does land. Splash does go.
That's a lot of damage already.
Sí, banearon tanto a Estela como a la Salame. Supongo que va a estar para la siguiente semana.
Early days of Renac. Target on Sharoon.
Send in the squad. Hit team. That's big.
That defense break is massive. 1 stack of bleed.
Oh, misses the crit though. That's the problem with Arya and how you build her. Good damage though, still regardless.
Yulha has the skill.
Got a big decision to make here, because if you do power up the Arya, then your Boss Arunka is totally vulnerable. So you might want to make a defensive play here and power up the Boss Arunka instead, and he's going to go for it.
It is a good read, but look at the tankiness on the side of Wanku. We have a Ruel, we have a Perfumer Biblis. This is definitely the play, but man, he's got a lot. This is like a mountain you have to climb over.
Oh, lands the defense break, but immediately shook off by the Veritas. Don't want to see it, but ooh, gonna have to keep marching on. Biblis going for the ultimate. Does not land on the Arya, but will be landing redirected provoke on every other character. Nurse will be keeping her team free of 1 debuff per turn, but those injuries will still stack up.
One who perpetuates disorder.
All right, we got to start wrapping up with this Arya. She's going to be our main damage dealer. Sending into the Biblis. This is the first one of the match. Decent damage, but does proc the S2. Going to be pretty much all nullified.
Forgetting something?
Wow.
Alright, let's roll.
Fiction has to go through so many. With this Ruel still holding her S3.
That's what I'm saying. So we opted to superhuman the Arunka, which is, you know, we need to stay alive, but how do we get through? We have the DK Shroon as well to kind of mitigate the debuffs from the side of Vic. Bite Gang coming in hot. But look at that, insta-cleanse, Cascade now available.
That's the power of the DK.
Let my guard down today, aren't we?
Oh man, I mean, you do strip the buff, which is a net positive, but every time you go for a buff strip play like that, you are giving over so much additional splash damage, and Boss Arunka does have the extra HP, but the longer this drags on, the worse it's going to look for Vic.
Defense break, lead.
Stand in line, please.
Half HP.
Double bleed that time.
Let's get the detonate.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's a stall for Vic. We did talk about though, Ruel still has skill 3 available.
An example of.
Another defense
And
break.
once again, we're going to get defense break back onto the DK, and skill 2 up. Skill 2 is up for the flag bearer. This is a pretty decent turn for Vic. Overall, very high value. Getting damage in on 2 characters. No, he's going for the damage on 3. We're splitting across
3
the
for
board.
3.
Wow.
No bleed that time. Arya,
This time no
chip
crit, but we
damage.
will be getting the end one.
Oh my god, Vic coming back.
Do you sleep well at night?
With those breaks.
Oh
These
my.
defense breaks from Arunka are paying off so big for Vic right now. That tempo is exactly what he needed, because we do have the revives, but look at this 4v2 scenario.
The chat
No
turning
injuries.
We'll
around.
be able to close this out.
Glory be with you.
And this is the toughest spot for Ruel to be in. You can only revive one character and completely top them off. Who do you go for? It's going to have to be the Renock, no?
To lead everyone to victory.
Surely.
I'll set the pace.
Yes.
Oh, but then that's the problem. Flag Sigra says, yeah, no Dragon King Sharoon. You're in trouble, buddy.
just cycles so
now you're going
quick.
to eat the fear.
A bunch of fun.
Yeah, gets the strip.
Those who
Does
fall
miss the
below.
fear,
Oh,
though,
yeah.
but Arias gets the good strip. Soulburn S3 is going to come through. How's the damage looking?
Ciao.
Oh. Victor
Victoria per
takes the first
Lichun.
game. Wow. What a
Well played, man.
turnaround. Just like the chat in the middle of the game.
It was looking rough. I think the fast scaling from the cigarette, she's taking so many turns. The S2, I think, guys, the defense breaks from the Arunka were the real star there. And nailing that Arya to lock out the kills and get the tempo he needed, because there was so much against Vic in the early game, but he played to his outs. He played beautifully with that Yulha decision on the revived S3. And I think, yeah, well played. 1-up for Vic.
Absolutely, Card. That's the magic of playing Flag Bearer Sigrid, is once you have a team lined up, and if you think about it, every single character here gets really good value with any amount of extra attack that the Flag Bearer Sigrid sets up. Boss Arunka, like you said, defense break, bleeds from the nurse, as well as skill 1s from that Arya, which is going to drag the extra attack anytime the ultimate is on cooldown, and that just ended up being so much once you add defense break into the formula,
Yeah.
and the Ruel just couldn't recover.
Those 3 defense decrees. Yeah, they opened up the opportunity for eviction. Politis, okay? Politis, Newman Luna, free red. Banned early G Ross for Wampy.
Yeah, Wampy just looking very shaky. His drafts are so reactive, where we see when players like Keith, Fan, they kind of set the pace of the match. Wampy just really struggling to kind of get a foothold against his opponents.
Lots of Politis bans today, even after Omega. So free ran out of the match now.
Dare block my way?
Haven't seen
Now
her.
Vic going for a first pick Lone Wolf Payra.
That's rare.
Looking to go high tempo and could be setting up for an evasion comp as well here. Lots of things up on the table, but that's also something new. And like you said, Car, whenever we're seeing guys set up for something and we don't know what it is, that's usually a really good sign, because that means they practiced something, they planned it out, and they were at the drawing board for a long time. Follow Cecilia, so removing one of the default knights, that's going to be removing a lot of splash damage that the Lone Wolf Payra is looking to output.
Seen some games where Payra did most of the damage to close out, especially with the soul burn. Fire.
We did see some big flops though with the KJ match. I like that tech, but if you recall, the Lone Wolf pair didn't quite seal the deal. I think it was on a free run. Anyways, I like what Vic is cooking here. It's almost reminiscent of E7 WCs in the past. Today we see just a lot of unique units. I'm liking this E7 Masters so far.
Elina,
Future of the Wind Tribe.
need one more.
It's different.
Gonna go
Wampy's
for the
Tenebria.
third pick Witch.
Huh.
Well, when you third
Gotta
pick
keep
a
Witch.
opener like this, it's usually a telltale sign that's a high speed build. And Vic already has fallen Cecilia in this spot, so he's, I would say, relatively prepped for a buff stat composition if he has something lined up for this.
I
And
can
just,
kind of
just to explain to the
wrapped up
viewers,
with
right,
the-
Valky, the buff stack that you've mentioned multiple times, we want to have like a protection set, a Fallen Cecilia barrier. We just stack a lot of buffs and protect things like immunity, right? To make sure that debuffs are very ineffective. Oh, and speaking of ineffective
Right.
debuffs.
For the new players in the chat, essentially what happens is the best debuffers in the game can only strip 2 buffs at a time. So you're trying to stack the barriers from the Fallen Cecilia, maybe multitudes of other buffs, the anti-crit from like a Wretched Rose, a lot of different things. And the whole idea is to protect your turn 1 immunity so your team is safe from that high tempo debuff.
What about Notos? I thought he's the best stripper.
Oh, he is, but he's just not very fast. I mean, Zio gets locked in here. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this Zio pick. Normally, he's only really high value if you could get a combo off. And now One Piece does, in fact, lock in the ground with 2 more Light Knights. It's Witch Tenebria and 4 Light Knights.
Yeah. Wampy's drafts are just very, very, I don't want to say like safe, but they're haven't been quite paying off. He has powerful units. This match though in round 2 is going to be a lot different on the side of Vic. That Zio pick, I kind of agree with Valky here. I'm not sure how much value we're going to get from it, but let's let him cook. He still has 1 more pick on his side to round out his draft.
I think we're feeling the same way about One Piece draft. I wouldn't call it safe, but would you say it's rather low risk, low reward?
Exactly. It just hasn't been paying off, even though he has powerhouse units.
And Wampy's down 0-1. Bystander Hwayong to pair up that Zio. Fantastic pick, I think. Gets taken out. This area also gone. So left side got tanky with some damage from the bright Sanya and Giras. Can Vixen survive those 2? It's big news.
Well, he's facing down an Ilinov, so there is a lot of mitigation on his side. Once again, it's not going to be one of the faster matches that we've seen today, but it'll really come down to the decision making from both players.
Switching imprint positions. We're in round 2.
You dare defy me? Your
Zio.
emperor?
Light versus dark.
Be afraid, sinner.
In turn 1, we're going for the soul burn. We're looking to just take the agency away from the Witch Tenebria.
Someone to ride with?
Yeah, just going to
With me backing you
crank it up.
Losing ain't enough.
Maybe thought about this potential stuns?
A bunch of Sunday drivers.
Yeah, depending on your effectiveness on the payroll here, you might even fish for a defense break onto that Dragon Bright Senya. If you do land it, could get your Tori a lot of value cheated
A
out.
ver.
Will not be landing it though.
Uh-huh. Here's
Oh,
Tori.
it hit the cascade. We've seen it miss. Gets it.
Got 5 buffs on her. Soul burn.
Dropping it on the Witch. Vic buys the first turn with the Zio. Trades out the Witch Tenebria. Activates the Dragon Bright. That is the opportunity cost there.
Give in to despair.
But you do get the back row unit deleted. It's Wind Rider on Tori.
This here.
And you really gotta like Vic's turn rotation here. Fallen Cecilia goes immediately after this turn, puts up Skill Nullifier, which at the very least denies the first turn from this Dragon Bright Senya. Great speed tuning from Vic.
Wonky seems like he's in trouble.
I vow my life to you.
Look how many buffs we have on the side of Vic. Gonna clear out some of those nullifiers. Soul burn activated for the Dragon Bright Senya.
Skill news and the barriers.
But that
almost no
Fallen
damage.
Cecilia mitigation yeah, really shrugs off most of that. Vic looking very healthy right now with the both unit advantage and the tempo advantage.
I think Vic has great target selection here, great speed tuning from the Fallen Cecilia earlier, buys him a lot of tempo, and now all he needs to do is all in this Genesis Ross. The moment the Ross goes down, I think Wampy is out of win conditions.
Yep, Ross.
You had your chance to repent.
Here's the lock. Yo. EFI, half the damage.
There was never a place for you to belong in this world.
How much can you pull it off, Wampy?
Can you keep up with me?
Oh no! There was a miss there from that Lone Wolf Parabuff, so not even knocking out Zio. That stealth also shrugging off a lot of damage. Vic still very healthy after that big S3.
Left my guard down.
He's still playing very conservatively as well. He doesn't take anything in stride. Goes to the Soul Burn, provokes, denies the turn from the Empyrean Illinog, playing very safe from Vic. And I think with this target selection, going on the Ross,
Second life.
And that's how you should play when you're in the driver's position. When you are in the advantage, don't take unnecessary risks. Wampy's already gassed out, so I think I like what Vic's doing. Just make sure we keep that Tori healthy. Here we go. Little fixed damage on top. Still alive.
splash damage doesn't kill there, courtesy of Fallen Cecilia passive. Soulburn does go. Takes out the Ross in one hit.
Lo que pega.
Witness
Gigantic hit from that Tori as long as she's alive. Big Chun.
Charge.
Oh, and even a dual attack is good measure. I think Vic is in a good spot. This Dragon Bright Senya is not looking good.
Yeah.
And I don't think Empyrean Illinog by herself is going to be able to flip this game.
I don't think so either, especially now that Tori's protecting it in that evasion, but he's not giving up. Wampy ripping a soul burn, lands the hit.
Oh, does take out the pay
One.
run.
Wampy does have some souls. 33. I can't believe it took this long to actually have single-digit soul number.
I vow to love you,
But we finally have it.
like I promised.
Another S3 skull burn from Wampy here.
Wait, this Senya has Oath on, right?
She did. Oh my god.
Oh.
Hold on.
The Cascade, though, is going to be enough.
The streamer
Dropping it in. We're getting a barrier up. Wind Rider.
The streamer
Should
Tori.
be enough.
Oh. But does Tori
He
win
drops
against
the soul burn and
Elena?
hang on a
Through
second.
the barrier. Not enough.
Se viene.
No injury means no splash damage on this Tori. That's the only thing she's weak to. S3 is going to get her more buffs up. She's going to want that attack buff for the barrier. That's the only way she survives this Empyrean Cascade. Still good. Soulburn still available. He's going to be going here.
The toss
sends it
is
in.
God!
Give in to despair.
1557!
Another Soulburn on this Empyrean.
Oh,
no
what
splash
Valió verga.
damage.
Tori lives! Fathom in 3! And that's
Oh
GG!
my god.
The power of streaming with Tori, as well as Victor. There's
I
a
know
win!
that game
What
should have been
a
that
match.
close.
Yeah, maybe playing a little too
Oh,
safe, but
man.
the stars did align for Vic. Maybe that little dual attack he landed earlier could have made all that difference. It was looking like Vic had full control of the match, but that Oath Dragon Bride we kind of overlooked. The damage came through, and we went down to a 1v1 scenario. It was so close. But Wanpi is out. That's an upset.
Oh, wow.
Man, Tori clutches that match by the skin of her teeth with her damage limit passive. One of the things that makes a Tori really good in an endgame scenario like that is exactly as you see, because she can't take more than half of her HP bar at once. If you have a really high attack build, she's going to be able to put up a barrier with her auto attack, which is just going to let her win a lot of 1v1s if they only attack once, or if there's no splash damage with those skills. Very good win by Vic.
And guys, I know we have the highlight, but let's talk about Wanpi a little bit. Did Wanpi go a little too safe, Valky? You kind of mentioned today, because he went 0-2-0-2 today.
I think so, yeah. I think if you play a lot of ranked ladder matches, it's okay to go low risk, low reward, especially if you know you're a very tanky player. But in a tournament setting, you do have to do research on your opponent. If you don't take any risks, if you always just play close to your chest, do what you normally do, you will get figured out like this. You will get teched on by... And all they need, I mean, it doesn't matter if they win by 4 characters or if they win by 300 HP. A win is a win, and that's what ended up happening here at the end of this match.
I almost forgot that Sprite Senya had Oath on still.
Yeah, that was kind of the surprise factor that almost brought him back with that Wind Rider, the Tori Cascades, and those barriers. Also backed up by the Fallen Stealing the earlier round. She almost got taken out in a previous turn, but was enough. 1,000 health to seal the deal for Vic Chun.
Two-zero win. Victor still on the climb. Has to face against Fan. Another very strong opponent.
Not quite out of the woods yet. Fan is one of the cleanest players today, so Vic definitely still needs to overcome yet another very tough matchup in order to make it out into that match 5 winner spot.
Ok, última pelea. Fan versus Pikachu.
I'm sure Fan has been watching the previous match. Just lost against Keith, the set god in this group. I'm sure he has made some strategy.
100%. Fan strikes me.
Yeah.
He, you saw G-Cliff with the Nodos switch up, right? He lets it through one time and comes over the top, has a game plan. Next time he takes it, didn't quite work out, but that might have just been the Keith difference. Like you were saying, I think Fan just has that kind of analytical approach. He's definitely watching and he can make adjustments on the fly.
Yep, and also, yeah, Victon, who just climbed up. And for the tournament, as Epic 7, there's been quite a lot of history and quite a lot of time put into the game. Years of history, years of equipment and hero farming. If you're just joining the game, of course, this will be very far. It might feel like it's very far away from you because these players are indeed very, very top of the ladder from the entire world. But slowly grind. Of course, the grinding is much, much faster than what we had before. So it'll take some time, but you can slowly take a step at a time. And so maybe next year or the year after, you might be in the tournament. So take your time, take this slowly. Don't feel like you're rushed in because it will take time. You can't immediately just get up to this level. That
And speaking of rushing in, we're immediately rushing into the draft, and after the pre-bans, both Lady of the Scales as well as Perfumer and Biblis are going to be in this match. Lady of the Scales going to be taken up on first pick. I still think Lady of the Scales is the best first pick in the game, though. She just gives you so much advantage in terms of what strategic options you have, and she almost guarantees that if you want to cleave, if you want to play a speed strategy, you can.
Ojito, dejar una Lady libre. Le estás pidiendo a Vito que libre, boludo.
Usually don't see that early in the pre-ban scenario. She is a very powerful unit, one of the best hybrid carries.
Biblis.
In a pre-ban scenario this early, Fan definitely cooking up something. Perfumer Biblis we talked about. Definitely just everything Valky said about Lady of the Scales. You can almost say the same with the exception of maybe like Cleave, but wow, this character really does it all. Sustain, survivability, lockdown, can close out matches. Her artifact amazing too. She's not even a Moonlight 5-star.
Shall I give it a go?
Almost almost stronger than some of those Moonlight 5 stars. Yulha? Yulha is here.
Is it time?
Fan picking up those lights. We do have Renok and many more of those fast base speed units.
Let's pick up Genesis Ross covering a light mage. Luna isn't even bad if Vic decides to play slow here. I think a lot of his characters so far, I mean, look at the Biblis, look at the Nurse Yolha. Both of these characters are super reliant on their passives, but Bellion on third pick will be able to deny that soul burn. So at the very least, if you want, you can still play effect resistance strategy into this.
That Luna will not have that magic soul burn. Cutting down a lot of her power. Now Victon, what else? Empty your pockets.
Could be a superhuman target in the form of Bellion, but as we've seen, when Bellion is kind of left as the main damage dealer, it doesn't always work out in that player's favor. But it's looking like Vic is shaping up that could be one of his potential options as his carry.
Yeah, Ilanov does get taken as well. Going to block the defense penetration damage Genesis Ross offers, but I mean, this is expected. Anytime we've seen somebody pick Bellion on 3, Lone Crescent Bologna has almost always just been the default first option answer as the bruiser to go into her, and I'm almost sure that character is getting banned in this draft. You can't let her through.
Yeah, that's just one of the reasons I think Bellion has such a low win rate, especially when she's used in this fashion. Has a lot of counter picks. Besides the very powerful soul removal, she has just not a lot of carry factor and has a lot of hard counters.
7. Now, if you clicked on this video because you finished the story, you farmed some gear, you summoned a bunch of fancy looking units, but you're still getting farmed by those pesky, annoying meta units in Arena and RTA, you come to the right place. My name's Valky, otherwise known lovingly in the community as Uncle Valk, and let me tell you what, I have been top 100 in every single game mode in the history of the game, and today I'm gonna teach you how to build your team in PvP in Epic 7. Now, if we do this right, in no time, you're going to be able to farming those meta defense teams, not only in Arena, not only in RTA, but Guild War 2 totally free to play. Let's fly. Now, everyone already knows the fundamental to a turn-based game is the coveted first turn. In Epic 7, that's speed. Speed allows you to go first before your opponent, and that has been an overpower strategy ever since the days of chess. But in Epic 7, according to the progenitor of speed strategies in RTA, Light E7 himself, relying on speed is a very premium strategy. It requires the best units, the best gear, and you even need a little bit of your luck to swing your way just for that win. So definitely not new player friendly. What I'm going to teach you today will be the exact opposite. Instead of playing for speed, we'll opt to build extra HP and defense on our characters and win the game on our opponent's turn. This strategy is commonly known as tank down. True to its name, the core of the strategy is the tank, which we will build our entire team around. The cream of the crop for tanks is Empyrean Ilanav and Boss Arunka. These two ladies are so good at their jobs to keep your team alive. Now, if you didn't get them from the Headhunt event that just elapsed, Crimson Armin and Unbound Knight Airwell are really good replacements at lower rarities. There are many other knights that are viable as well, so long as you stack a lot of HP defense, and be sure to arm them with the Aureus artifact, as the damage transfer mechanic is the main method in keeping slower teams alive in PvP in E7. Each tank has their own specialty, like Empyrean's penetration resistance passive stopping true damage, Boss Arunka walling off single target nukers. Learn what your knights are good at and flex them into their respective combos. This also extends to your supports, such as Lady of the Scale and Ruel working with every single team, but Ruel is particularly adept at sustaining her team against single target threats. Nurse Yolha has synergy with HP scaling bruisers, Mei Chloe can reduce splash damage, and the newly buffed Yen can stack buffs and cleanse debuffs. You want to mix and match your team to be as bulletproof as possible against as many threats as possible. Now, as far as damage dealers, there are so many of them in Epic 7, and honestly, any one of them can get the job done, so long as you're picking in the right matchup. Now, if you're content letting your opponent play the game and just counterattacking them until you win, there is no better choice than Monarch of the Sword Iseria. If you don't have her, good replacements are Setsuka, Charlotte, and Bellion. If counterattacks seem a little bit sus, and that doesn't seem like the right strategy for you, you can play into extra or dual attacks and play off of characters like ML Bologna, the limited Autumn Flawn, or Lethe. If you just want solid units without too many other gimmicks, then your best option for this strategy overall is Genesis Ross, a free unit that everybody should be getting from his event, which is now permanent. And if you don't, well, Freeren if you were here during her collab, ML Aria and Tori are also solid options. Now, the last member on your team should be pretty flexible, able to adapt your team into a strong matchup while countering the opponent. A good example includes Sea Phantom Politis, ML Luna, Renok, Flagbearer Sigrid, and honestly, there are so many more characters that are good in this spot. The key here is that they want to be relatively high speed and should have some amount of damage or debuffs that serve to disrupt your opponent's game plan. Now, there are way more options than I can list in one video, so if you don't have every character in the video, I highly encourage you to just think of the roles and who could fill them and try them out, as long as you follow this team building blueprint with characters that you do have. And guess what? While you're trying out your roster, you can start planning ahead and pick up these premium characters for your team. After all, making teams yourself is the spirit of Epic 7, and experimenting with your roster while you save up premium units is the process of learning. Just do be careful though, there are a couple of characters you want to avoid with this strategy. That means in Arena and Guild War, you want to just pick a different defense team to attack. You don't have to attack them. And in RTA, RTA, well, you can just outright pre or post ban these characters, and we'll see in a second what that means. Now, these units are Notos, Lady of the Scales, Shepherd of the Dark DN, Witch of the Mere Tenebria, and Mort, but only if you're focusing on counterattacking. So let's bring this deck into RTA and go through the steps of how drafting the strategy works. Here, we have an opponent who is a Warlord rank, meaning we are up against a top 3,000 player in the world. As we said earlier, we want to avoid MLDN as well as the new character Notos matchup, so those will be our pre-bans. Here, our opponent as well bans MLDN alongside School Nurse Yolha. This is a very telling of what they're trying to play. Both DN and Yolha are characters that synergize well with higher speed and high HP characters, so they do not like playing against faster opponents. They're trying to play slow, which is great for us because that's our strategy as well. Our opponent gets first pick, and his first pick is Lady of the Scales. Arguably the strongest character in the game, her ability to both function as a support and turning her front unit into a tank. Definitely deserving of the title of a top tier character. And guys, STTP, remember that, stick to the plan. Here, we're going to pick up the best free-to-play support in the game, Ruel of Light, alongside the best free-to-play tank in the game, Crimson Armin. Now, we could be getting fancy with this, but I wanted to keep things simple and stick to our plan, so we'll just get the best free-to-play units, and getting this core out of the way early in the draft does two things. It establishes the core of our strategy, and it hides our damage dealer from our enemy. And you'll see in a bit why hiding our damage dealer is very important. Our opponent commits his tank, Boss Arunka, and Ban protects his main damage dealer, Lone Crescent Bologna. This makes her two top-tier units and a freshly buffed Bruiser, who is also very strong. Picking her on 3 for the opponent means I cannot ban this character, so the rest of our strategy need to be able to adapt to this ban protection and guarantee we can play against her without dying to the damage she offers. Here, I'm going to do the same thing and drop our main carry on 3rd pick ban protect, Monarch of the Sword Iseria. I don't think this is the best option for this spot, but I've been having a lot of fun playing her, and I do want to show you guys, as long as you draft with a plan and you counter your opponents properly, you can win with almost anything you want. Pick 4 is going to be our support in Sea Phantom Politis, who is here for 2 jobs. On top of being able to cut Bologna's fighting spirit in half, she can also set up dual attacks with Monarch of the Sword Iseria at very high speeds. Keep in mind, we do not need her to be very fast for this draft, as her stealth keeps her very safe against our enemy single target damage. Now, my opponent takes Tori, likely as a way to steal a pick away from me, to make sure I don't have an easy way of hitting the Bolognas through her evasion. And DN here stacks a lot of buffs and sustains his team. So
oh, gonna hold on S3 Judgment.
Can you keep up with me?
They were
And he's
finally
widely
generating some
targeting
soul,
the
but
Lone
now she's
Terra.
got a greater attack buff.
Dare.
Have faith in me.
Some extra damage
And
in.
with Make Chloe on the board and the passive, the splash damage just will not reach that Spirit Eye Celine.
Hopefully, it's different.
I
this
said he
time.
has the heart of a warrior, though, and he's not giving up, playing to his outs.
What
There it
cannot
is.
be avoided must be overcome.
One down.
But at the end of the day, that's the problem, right? You can hold all of your cooldowns because block is on everything, but now Make Chloe can just hit that gong and Spirit Eye Celine comes right back.
VIP treat.
I protect.
Welcome back.
That's what I do. The weight of the oath I've taken.
Oh, did we see? Did that land?
Down upon you.
That's a miss, I think.
But the damage
Oh,
is
but
enough.
the
She was
damage will
so
take
low
her
on
right
health.
out.
Final lesson I leave you.
And that is it. Fan. Second player from Group H moving up, along with Heat. And that's the result. 2-0
Yeah.
from the last match.
I hate to
Eso
say it, but
cerrado.
it was almost like game 1 where it was pretty much decided in the draft
En la
phase.
ventana.
Fan very wisely identifying, if I just take out the Boss Arunka here, even though 4 and 5 are scary, my re-knock is going to take first, knock out this Tori, and from there, Vic doesn't have a chance to destroy how much tankiness, how much recursion I have between the revives on May Chloe and that Spirit Eye Celine backup as well. Very well played, especially with that Arwell on 3.
Yes.
And I really want to highlight how much it means when Fan just lays out the entire draft, gets that Bunny Dominion, and he goes, oh, wait a minute, I can just ban Boss Arunka, pick the Tori, and the game is free. That was such a good ban. I think in both games, Fan out-banned Vic, and that was the result of the victory. Like, the bans were immaculate.
Conductor exerts
That Elvira might have gave him some less confidence going into the second game. That Bam pick.
Yeah, despite the Elvira though, I did like Vic's decision making. He had like some swings here and there, but his fan, the Lady of the Scales plus the Ruel, it's just too much to overcome, especially when we have a unit that's not quite pulling her weight.
Yeah, the start. And the Tori getting blown up.
Lands the kill, but as we said, there are revives in play, multiple of them. And with Lone Wolf Paris helping so low, despite the miss. I was looking for the miss here, hoping maybe Vic could have a chance, but no, the chip damage is enough to lock her out. And when she's out of there, we have no more damage.
Bueno, ya está, ya se decidió, no vamos a ir más. Gracias a los que hayan visto por ver. Nos vemos en